up, guys? It is DPX. Welcome back to another episode of Chillin With The Miikcast. We got a very special one today, and I'm joined by Ramkit.
What's up, guys?
And Slash.
Yo, what's up? You want to see my Chinese food?
And anyone else who decides to join. And this is obviously a interesting episode, as you've seen. Hey, Slash, what's up? This is obviously an interesting episode, a different one, as you saw however long the episode is. We're talking about every single E3 press conference. Well,
this is my least favorite episode.
Maybe not every single one.
Yeah.
There's like...
I hate this one too.
I hate this episode
Worse in the series.
Alright, so let's just get right into it. We started off with Ubisoft, and
Yum.
the first thing they showed was Rainbow
If Far
Six.
Cry is not good, I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry. Continue.
Alright, so we've... sorry, so there's some weird noise going on in the back. That's why there's that pause. But, so our first game that we got was Rainbow Six Extraction. This sounds like it's a brand new game that was announced, but it's actually not. It was originally named Rainbow Six Quarantine. But I think you know why they changed the name from Rainbow Six Quarantine. So, the weird thing about this game, it actually looks like fun. I'm probably not going to play it just because I'm not the biggest fan of games as a service games, at least at their full price. But the weird thing about this is that they showed like a full CG trailer, like a full-on like cutscene or whatever, and then they talked about the game, and then they showed gameplay, like a full match. That was weird. So, and when I have the timestamps, they had timestamps in their presentation. So let's see. It started at 1 hour and 19, and ended at 1 hour and 35. That's how long it went for. So, it looks fun. I'm probably not gonna play it, but Ramkit, you said you saw Ubisoft's presentation, but you tuned out and you just watched some of the other individual trailers. But like you said, you started watching it, which means you must have seen like the beginning here.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about Rainbow Six Quarantine? I called it Quarantine.
I hope it's better than The Division, and I hope it's better than The Division. It looks interesting, but that's about it, honestly. I mean, it's just the Rainbow Six franchise. I guess they're just going to go off of Rainbow Six Siege. I know they're using, like, the characters or whatever it's called from that game, but I don't know. I just hope it's better than The Division.
I think it's more the fact that, like, wow, they're actually making a sequel to Rainbow Six Siege. Like, I didn't think they would ever make another game just because they keep
I know, it's so
that.
popular, they don't even need it. I guess they're just building off of it, so that's cool, but I don't know. I've played those games. I'm not the biggest fan of them either, but it looks interesting. So
I just hope it's better than The Division.
Me too. I hope it's better than. I was
just reminded. There was a Division sequel that happened. I completely forgot about that.
Oh, there was. You're right.
Was that game any good?
Yeah. I hope it's better than The Division too.
Okay. Well, moving on. Oh wait, Slash. I didn't ask you, but did you watch?
Yes, definitely.
Did you watch?
Of course.
I think Slash thinks that the alien designs are very interesting, and he's excited to see what they do with the team-based elements.
I think it will be better than The Division, if I'm being honest.
So I think that's what Slash is into.
The Division.
Slash, what do you think about Rainbow Six Extraction?
Ooh, I think it looks interesting. You know, I think we could be seeing a new era for the Rainbow Six franchise.
Oh yeah, you didn't watch it. Okay, moving on. Was this weird thing Rocksmith Plus? It was like some streaming service where you learn music, and it seems cool. Like, I'm not even saying this is a bad thing. I'm not saying this is ruining the industry, but why is this at E3? This is not a video game. This is sort of the problem with Ubisoft's presentation. There's a lot of streaming services and updates on games that have been out for years, and they had a fucking full-on trailer for a movie. Like, we'll get to that later, though.
Yay.
And yeah, I don't have anything to say about Rocksmith Plus. I kind of just skipped through that. Ramkit, anything on?
I did not watch that. I don't remember that being there.
That was at the beginning. Was that when you tuned out?
It must have been.
Are you guys talking about Rocksmith Plus?
Yeah, the hottest new game.
My favorite.
Everyone is excited for Rocksmith Plus.
Everyone is. It's like Spotify too.
All right, moving on. Riders Republic. I don't know. It feels like a game I shouldn't be excited for, but I don't know. It kind of looks like fun, to be honest. It comes out on September 2nd. I don't know if that was already revealed, but it looks like a fun game. It seems like a racing game where you ride bikes or like use you like glide or you have like jetpacks or whatever. It seems like a fun game. I don't know. I just can't explain it, but yeah, we got a cool little trailer. Not much to say about it though. I don't think this revealed anything new.
Very colorful, I must say.
Yeah, Ramkit, you have anything to say about Riders Republic?
I just hope it's better than Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Okay, buddy.
So is this the thing where I go around asking you guys what you think about things, and you go, I hope it's better than this, because Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 is a really good game.
I know, so it would be a very good game if it was better. No, but actually, I mean, it looks interesting. It's like,
very colorful.
What is it, just multiplayer races of open world multiplayer races, kind of?
I think it's...
I mean...
Actually, it's a very interesting concept. I don't know how well it's going to be able to be pulled off, but...
Yeah, Ubisoft, like, when they have, like, good concepts, it's either they pull it off very well or they fail miserably. There's never, like, an in-between.
And they fail miserably 70% of the time.
Yeah, they fail miserably a lot.
Ori or the Division, basically.
Exactly. Rayman or Watch Dogs.
No, Rayman's good. Rayman's good, but
yes, Rayman's a good game. Watch Dogs is a bad game.
All right, Riders Republic. Any final thoughts, Ramkit?
I hope it's good. What can I say? I want to play a fun video game.
Yeah, Slash.
I'm interested in this game, and I hope they show more.
All right. Next up is Rainbow Six Siege, which I kind of skipped through that because I don't play the game, and also the game's been out for years. I did not see anything. I actually skipped through that. So
Rainbow Six Siege is a very hard game that I do not have the time to become good at, and since I'm bad at it, it is not fun to play.
I'm good at every video game.
I'm sure it's a good game for like the people where it's their thing, but it's not my thing. I don't like, just these games as a service games, and they charge you $60 for a game that's supposed to be not as good when it comes out, but then gets better as time goes on. Like, give me a good product for on launch day if you're gonna give it to me for $60.
Too much of an investment, you know what I'm saying?
Especially since now games are gonna be $70. But yeah, I guess there are updates for Rainbow Six Siege. Don't care really. And then the next timestamp I see here was live updates.
You would hate Rainbow Six Siege, wouldn't you?
I skipped through that. I think I saw some stuff. There's something for Honor, I think, and then there's.
Oh really?
No, For Honor was in the pre-show. Oh, there was a whole. We won't look at that. And then
Trackmania.
Yeah, no, Trackmania is pretty cool. But
I like
and then
Trackmania.
what I don't see in the pre-show that I saw like listed on their channel, so it's probably in live updates, was probably the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are coming to Brawlhalla. This Brawlhalla is
Ooh,
getting a bunch of like weird fucking guest characters.
bro. All of them.
Have you ever played
BPX,
Brawlhalla? Is actually not a bad game. It's just why would you
I
play
have
that if you have
Brawlhalla on
Smash?
Steam. I have it on
Yeah,
Steam.
but it's free, right?
Yeah, it's free. So
No,
it's
I
a cool
played.
little like try it out, you know. But it's not like why like it's not a better alternative to a game like Smash, if you know what I
No,
mean.
I had
Or even like Rivals of Aether or something like that. Like Rivals of Aether is probably a better game.
I
So
played Brawlhalla a lot last summer for reasons I'm not going to get into.
all right. Next up is the game that gets me hit with a copyright and revokes my ability to live stream my reactions to Ubisoft's E3, and that is Just Dance. I was working today while this was going on, but even if I wasn't gonna react to Ubisoft's.
Was this being streamed?
Yeah, it
Is this being
was.
streamed right now?
It was.
No,
It
is
was
this
streamed.
being streamed?
This is not
Are we
being
streaming
streamed.
right now?
We're not
Fuck
streaming.
you, Ubisoft. Suck my dick. Okay, there we go.
You would have gotten away with that on stream.
No, I know, but I don't. I want to take any
What?
chance.
Okay. Well, I skipped through Just Dance. To be honest, because I don't care. Like I'm sure. Like I actually, I played it a while ago. I played a Just Dance game a while ago, and it's actually a decent workout. It's something.
Tell me that wouldn't be funny to play all together.
Like,
Tell me that wouldn't be hilarious.
dude, imagine like
That-
a
that
Mad
would
Lads
be
if
a
all of
good-
us playing Just Dance. That would actually be really fun.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
Now I'm excited for Just Dance. Fuck you.
I'm excited
You know,
for Just Dance.
I'll chip in like $8. We can just share Just Dance.
All right. Well, Just Dance 2022 was announced. I have not seen anything about that, but like it was weird. I remember not last year, the last E3. One weird thing they did was they announced Just Dance 2020. Yeah, it was Just Dance 2020 at the time. Yeah. And they gave it a huge musical number because of course they did. But they didn't show any like actual footage of Just Dance. And then in a sizzle reel in Nintendo's
They were just
press
dancing.
conference, they showed it. So they didn't actually officially show gameplay for Just Gameplay, yeah. But they didn't show any gameplay for Just Dance that year until Nintendo's. So I don't know. I mean, it's Just Dance, but like, yeah. Anything you guys have to say about Just Dance 2022? I didn't even see
Just
the trailer.
We're just gonna dance, man. Let's just dance.
Yeah, man. All right.
Every person in Just Dance, the world will be a better place to live in.
And then the next game is a game that I kind of feel like hampered the press conference. Not anything that has to do with the game itself, but like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They spent a lot of time on that game. That game's been out for months already. It's been out for a while.
Is it good?
I haven't played it. I've heard mixed things about it, but that's not even the issue here. The issue is that this game's been out for a while and you spent so much time on it. What the fuck?
You
Like,
tell them, DPX.
I don't get why they did that really, but yeah. Anything? Ramke? Did you see the Assassin's Creed Valhalla stuff?
No, because
All right. No,
as I said, I have no desire.
yeah. Slash, I'm assuming you didn't either.
Oh, I have the game, so I mean.
Oh, you have the game?
No, I mean I don't play it ever. My brother used to play it.
Oh.
Now he doesn't.
Is it good?
It's okay. My brother liked it for a month.
From what I've heard is that the story is really good, but like playing through the game is just a chore. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's the general consensus though. So yeah, moving on. Let's see. And this is another thing that was so really dumb. Like they announced excuse me. They had a whole like spot on the show. I'm looking at the timestamps in the description. Literally, Ubisoft Film and Television. Why is this in a fucking gaming event. What?
Who doesn't want to hear about Ubisoft
So
film and
the two
television?
things they showed was Mythic Quest, which is some show on Apple TV Plus that takes place in like a game development studio or something. Interesting concept, but like they showed they apparently, I haven't been watching the show. They showed like a clip from previous episodes, so clips that people who have been watching the show have already seen. So there's literally like no point in showing this at all. And then they showed a trailer for a movie that's apparently based off of an Ubisoft game, but I don't even remember the name of the. I think it was Werewolf Within. That's what it was called.
Oh yeah.
Is that a game? Is there a game called Werewolf Within? I'm actually gonna go search that up right now.
You know what? Let's search where. Yes, sir.
Okay,
It's a film and a game.
It's a game
and a movie.
Yeah, a film, game, and a movie. Wow. Okay.
Starring Sam Richardson,
I
Milano.
don't think it's a movie. I was kind of just kidding.
It's an actual movie.
It's a movie.
No, it's a movie
favorite
coming
people.
out this year.
And it's based on the video game of the same name.
Okay, so it is a
A
game.
video game that came out in 2016.
Holy shit, it's a game that has terrible reviews.
The game is set in a medieval fantasy.
They're adapting a game. Yo, they're adapting.
Oh, it's like a Mafia Among Us type thing.
Dude, they're adapting
The
a game.
Salem's whatever town thing.
Dude, they are adapting a game that has terrible reviews into a movie. Slash, you good there?
Not mean to do that.
That's fine. They're adapting a game with terrible reviews into a movie, and I guess the trailer is a little self-aware. It's based off the game you'd never heard of, so it's a little self-aware. But still, it's like, why is this at E3? What is this? What is this doing here? This isn't it's related to games, but it's not a video game. Why is this here? So, any final thoughts, Ramkit?
Werewolves Within is an upcoming American comedy film starring Sam Richardson. I'm very excited to see it, and I can't wait to publish my review of the film.
Yeah, because you publish a lot of reviews, don't you? Slash, any
This is going to be my first one.
any final thoughts on?
I have so much to say about this movie. So much, in fact.
Me too.
Okay.
Werewolves Within.
I think it can be contained in a 15-minute time period. So, if you guys want to see my review of this movie, go make sure to subscribe to DPX's channel. So
Yeah.
that's where we'll be.
We'll do a collab. We'll do a collab.
We can review it together.
Yeah.
We'll all review it.
We'll do
so
a full
much
like
to say
spoiler video on my podcast. Like, I'm sure there'll be that much to say about it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, now we actually these last three announcements are actually like
It's actually
good.
lit.
Far Cry 6. I almost said 3 for some reason. Far Cry 6 though. We had a full presentation on it like a few weeks ago, and so I was kind of like, why are we seeing Far Cry 6 here? But the stuff they showed was actually pretty cool. We have the man Giancarlo Esposito, who's Gus Fring.
Breaking Bad, man.
Yeah, and also more recently Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian.
Jesse, we need to cook.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties. Sorry about that pause.
Sorry.
Okay.
So it looks good, and I actually haven't been following the game and its trailers and everything, so I don't know if this has been revealed before, but it showed a little bit of the story. It showed that we have Giancarlo Esposito's character. I forgot his name. It was like Anton or something. I'll call him Anton.
The president of a South American Caribbean country.
Yeah, no,
right?
he has his son that's
the just cause kind of thing. Yeah.
He has his son that's who's like a 13-year-old, but he's like he's using him as like a criminal or something. It's like I explained it terribly, but like it's interesting, Far Cry's always had some good villains, and there's gonna be a season pass where I don't. This was a little confusing, but you can play as other villains. Maybe I'm not sure. I was kind of thinking it would be like sort of some.
It's like DLC. It's like another game. Like you pay more money for more game. You can play as the villains, and it's like I think a story within the villains or something.
Is it like I didn't understand this part. Was it?
It's like separate.
It's not like it's gonna be within Far Cry 6, but it's not gonna be like. It's like it's sort of a different game within Far Cry 6, right?
Within the same like engine and all that, yes. But
But it's not like an expansion, right? Okay, that's cool. Maybe that could be worth it because the Far Cry's known for having really good villains. Ramkid, anything you have to say about Far Cry 6?
I hope it's good, or else I'm going to be very, very sad.
Far Cry has a decent track record. So...
They peaked, and they collapsed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slash, anything to say about Far Cry 6?
No, it looks sick. I'm obviously not gonna get it because I'm a complete fucking loser. But yeah, it looks cool.
And I am gonna get it because I am a loser. Let's go.
I may or may not get it because I'm a loser. So we're all losers.
No. Yeah, probably.
All right. The next game, I think the next game is the highlight. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. There were so many.
It looked like a Halo game.
It just so happened to be like after I made my list of predictions, so this wasn't included. Every sign pointed towards a sequel to Mario and Rabbids being announced at E3, and then this morning, I got this spoiled for me before the event even came up because Nintendo they leaked it on their website by accident.
Oh really? Oh yeah.
Yeah, they did.
I saw them.
Idiots.
Wait, can I just say one thing before we move on to the Rabbids?
What?
Ratatouille.
The guy that's playing the son in Far Cry 6 is the same guy that was what's his name? Manuel in Coca. What was the kid's name?
Oh, I think it's Miguel.
Miguel, not Miguel, not Manuel. Miguel.
Really? But really though?
Yeah, that's the same guy.
What impressive range.
Alright. Well, back to Mario and Rabbids. I don't think we got any gameplay. But for some reason I was thinking it was just gonna come out later this year, just because when they announced Mario and Rabbids, the first game at E3, it came out later that year. But this game's not coming out till 2022, so maybe I think they're gonna make this make this a bigger game. They're gonna do more with it. And Rabid Luma honestly looks a little cursed. I feel it looks like a Photoshop that you would make to send in your Discord to give everyone a cursed photo, if you know what I mean.
It'll be funny.
No. So Ramkit, anything you have to say about Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope?
I got the first one, and it was just basically Mario and Rabbids XCOM, which is cool.
It should not have worked like it did.
It should not have. So I'm excited for Sparks of Hope to be an action-adventure role-playing game where Mario has to liberate the planet from the evil monster that you see. True. And he has to commit several war crimes to do it, and it's a grasp of how far you're willing to go.
My bet's on genocide.
Is good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
I'm excited.
So Slash, I know you just said you were excited, but anything you have to say about Mario and Rabbids?
I have the first one. It was actually kind of fun, surprisingly. Mario and Rabbids is like one of those YouTube videos. It's like, oh yeah, we mashed up like this song and this song from completely different genres, and then they like come together perfectly.
Yeah, and it actually works somehow.
Yeah. You take Mario, you take Rabbids, and you take the gameplay of XCOM. 3 things that should not go together, but they do, and they're making a they're making a franchise out of it. Like, I
Maybe
don't
we'll
think
get-
this will be, unless this game tanks, whether it be financially or critically or both. I feel like this isn't going to be the last we see of Mario and Rabbids.
I want a Mario and Rabbids carts. I want it.
Yo, the next Mario Kart, honestly, having like the Rabbids in that,
Put the
that would
Rabbids
make
in it.
sense actually.
That would be cool.
Wanna know what else would make sense at
The
this point?
Rabbids.
The Rabbids in Smash. Kind of don't want that, but like.
Peach Rabbit. Rabbit Peach.
Fucking Peach Rabbits in Smash.
Peach Rabbit. And they use a gun.
All right. Last but not least, since this was actually kind of random. I knew about this game before I watched it, but if I was watching this live, I would have been like, "What the fuck?" But it's Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. I'd be like, "What the
I will
fuck
cash
is?"
out you $20 if you can name a character from Avatar.
Well, I guess I ain't getting the $20 because, I mean, I know one thing from Avatar. That's like the blue Navi. That I don't remember what that was, but that's
That's
something
what they're
from
called.
Avatar.
I think that's what they're
okay.
called.
Species, but that's not a name.
That's a species. I know it's not their names.
Species of Avatar.
But it's just, I know it's.
He's looking it up right now.
No,
Give him
I'm
a
actually
minute.
not. I actually
Looking it up.
noticed. This is completely unrelated. I've been playing Guilty Gear Strive, and I noticed that when you pause the story mode, where it says continue without saving for some reason, they spelled continue wrong. They spelled it CONTNIUE. That's what I was looking at. Anyways,
Okay, what was the bet you made? I bet I can name a character from Avatar.
Name a character from Avatar.
Aang.
Yeah. Okay.
I
I was
you
like,
win.
an Avatar: The Last Airbender game would actually be pretty cool. But yeah,
I just hope Ubisoft doesn't think it.
Just got outwitted.
we got a CG trailer, which I mean, it's coming out in 2022. I don't remember. Did it say early 2022?
Yum.
Because if it did, then why do they show just a CG trailer, no gameplay at all?
They're about to send it out to the sweat. Oh, wait, I can't say that. Yeah, they're about to pay some people very low funds to
No,
do.
it just said
funny.
it just said 2022. But the interesting thing is it's coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X. So
Switch can't
like
handle it.
it's a next gen
Oh well,
game.
now I have to get it.
I mean, like, it's a next gen game.
I'll have to get it now.
Avatar, I never thought was a very good movie, though. To be honest.
Wait, there was an Avatar game that came out in 2009.
Yeah, it was like it was.
DPX, you should review it. You should review it.
I looked into that actually. I was like, does Avatar have a game? Maybe that could be a solo missions, but I don't know. Like I was trying to find games that like no one has heard of, but anyways, yeah, it's strange that like Avatar like came out and then made a shitload of money, but then now over 10 years later, now Disney wants to turn it into a franchise. They have like 4 upcoming movies, and now they're giving it to Ubisoft and Massive to make a new game, and even that it's like this.
It's gonna make no money.
Massive is working on a new Star Wars game, and I think they're new. I don't think they've made. No, I think they have, but I don't know. Ramke, what do you got? What do you think about Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora? I forgot the name of it. What do you think of that?
Honestly, I think they got their work cut out because no one cares about Avatar. But if it's maybe it'll be an interesting open world kind of game. I don't know what kind of game it is, but I mean, it could be interesting. It's Avatar, baby.
Yeah.
Avatar, baby.
Top
All right, Slash.
top
what do
10
you think?
animated show of all time.
Okay. Let me talk here. And I'm thinking I talk about Avatar. And Avatar, you know, I remember the movie. There were some blue people in it. 10 minutes, I mean 10 years came and went, some time has passed and now they're trying to
Bring it
revive it.
back.
Yeah, I mean why though? I mean the thing is that the special effects industry has closed, I feel, so much in that time where it's not really, you can't really make a movie like Avatar again in a way.
Hmm.
And the future
But what
Avatar,
was the movie of Avatar?
oh, it's
Do
just
you
an
know what?
incredible blue girlfriend, man become blue girl, get victory. Yeah.
All right, come on.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. I think the movies are gonna flop, and I think that the game is gonna be probably. Honestly, I feel like the game's gonna get lost a little bit, but I feel like it's gonna be a solid game, but I feel like it's gonna get buried a
It
little
was
bit
kind
because
of
it's
strange
Avatar.
because they. Wait, did I cut you off there?
No.
All right, it was kind of strange.
Yeah. No.
All right, did you finish?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, it was kind of strange because they saved this announcement to the end, and they're like, we have one more announcement, and it was this. But it's kind of strange because this, it's kind of something that no one asked for. I'm not saying that this isn't promising. There's Avatar. I don't like the movie. It's not too memorable, but I
No
think it
one
has
likes the
a
movie.
good world, an interesting world. So maybe it's good for sequels and maybe a game. But I don't know. It was kind of weird the way they presented it. But yeah, any final thoughts? Even though I asked you guys all about that.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I'm kind of excited for Avatar. No one really liked the movie, but I
Oh,
think
there
there's
are
some
people that like
interesting
the movie.
gameplay.
Idiots, I
Yeah,
tell
people
you.
like every movie,
I think
but
the game.
they
I
were,
think the movie got nominated for Best Picture. So
damn.
the Academy liked it,
But
but
I think like the water and fire bending can make for an interesting gameplay mechanic, and the story's very good if they hire the original writers, and yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we see more of Avatar Roku in this. I feel like his involvement was pretty perfect
Ramkit
in
doesn't know who
the.
that is.
I
Um,
do, because I know about the show. I just haven't
I
watched the entire show.
can't tell if
Did you
he.
even get to that episode though? Yeah, no,
Wasn't
you
that the one
didn't.
where he goes into to speak with him? That was the preceding Avatar.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
was
get to that episode.
he's in this game.
let's not get
I'm sorry.
sidetracked, okay?
I'm sorry, Henry.
Ramkit, let's not get sidetracked. That was
Too late.
Ubisoft's press conference. Um, all in all, final thoughts.
Can we rate the press conference?
We could, yeah. But all in all,
Okay,
final
after you rate it,
thoughts. It
I
was
gotta hop off. So.
all right. Wait. Before you do that, rate the press conference.
6 out of 10.
6.
They showed some games.
I'd say it was more like a 5. They showed 4 new games. One of them was Just Dance, so 3 new games, and one of them Rainbow Six Quarantine. I called it that again, but Rainbow Six Extraction. Spent a little too much time on that, and then Avatar is definitely interesting, and Mario and Rabbids was definitely the highlight, but they wasted a lot of time with a lot of other stuff. So you can.
I only give it a. Oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
No.
Can I rate the press conference?
Wait.
I want
Ramka,
to
what
rate
were you
it.
gonna say? I was done. I was just saying. I was just
I
about to
only
say.
gave it a 6 because I really want Far Cry 6 to be good, but it's
Oh yeah,
probably
I
not.
didn't mention that. Far Cry 6 was. I liked what they
Yeah.
showed for that.
Can I rate the press conference DPX?
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
Yay. 4.5. Pretty
Fair
much the
enough.
same reasons.
Except you just rated it lower. No, I get
You know
that.
what? You know what?
No. That's like an acceptable score, 4.5. That's pretty close to what I had. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was Ubisoft, but now there is
Like,
Gearbox. But Ramkid, you gotta hop off.
I do, and
Yeah, all
I
right.
did not even watch that
uh-oh.
one. So,
It's
I
all right.
got some.
fun guys.
See
See
you,
y'all
Ramkid.
tomorrow.
Okay, I'll protect him.
All right. Now don't worry, Slash. If you didn't see it, don't worry. There was not a lot here. There's 3 new games, and they mostly went around asking about the new Borderlands movie, which seems promising. It's being directed by Eli Roth, and it's gonna have Kevin Hart in it as a character. I haven't played the Borderlands games.
I love
So
Kevin.
Kevin Hart is pretty cool. A lot of people don't like him, but I think he's pretty cool.
He's funny.
They showed Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Tiny Tina is a character from Borderlands. So she, I guess she's getting her own spin-off game. It's like a
Yes,
fantasy dragon game, and Borderlands is like some dystopian future with technology. So it seems a little different from Borderlands. So I don't know. Maybe there's a connection here. Again, I haven't played the game, so I don't really know. But Slash, I'm assuming you haven't seen it, right?
Do you want to see? You want to see something funny?
What?
Someone commented on the IGN article of Gearbox's showcase and said, "Mind blowing that went from saying Ubisoft Forward was the worst conference I've seen, only for Gearbox to swoop in and make Ubisoft Forward look amazing."
Well,
Damn, he really killed them.
I mean, then again, Gearbox, they're a developer. They probably shouldn't have even had a. They really shouldn't. They could have slipped these announcements in like Microsoft's presentation, because that's where a lot of the third party stuff is. Let's see. They announced Homeworld 3, which is weird. They announced that, and then 2 separate other times they had to keep reminding you, like, hey, Homeworld 3 is now in development. They didn't show anything for it, but like, it was weird, honestly. And then they showed one more game. I don't remember what it was called.
Godfall.
No, that was
right?
I'm like a brand new game. We'll get to that. Tribes of Midgard, which looked like a mobile game, but it's coming to PS4 and PS5 and Steam.
That's a good sign.
It looks interesting. I'm like, visually it looks like a mobile game. I don't mean like. Actually,
I know.
No,
That's not a good sign.
And then they showed Godfall. Like, they're giving Godfall DLC as if that's a game that like people cared about and liked.
Everyone loves Godfall, except like everyone.
Yeah. Did you even like? It's okay. It's okay.
You're gonna ask
be
me if I
honest
know
here.
what Godfall is.
Did you
do.
know what the fuck it was? You did?
Yes, I did. It's weird. Do you want me to? I'll talk to you about it after. It's a mediocre game.
I was like one of the few people I felt like I was kind of like interested in it. It was a PS5. It was actually the first PS5 launch title announced, believe it or not. And it was probably and once the PS5 came out, it's probably the last one you thought of. So
or the worst one also.
Yeah, probably. So I don't know why you're giving it DLC, and you had like a whole segment.
That's what you use your press conference on. Like, yo, what's up? Yo, we're Gearbox. Yo, check out this game no one likes. Here's some DLC.
I will say this though, they're the little interludes, being like sign up for Gearbox University. At first it was a little annoying. It was like, all right, come on, get into the games, but I don't know. Like everything else was kind of boring. So when we got to that, it was actually kind of funny. I kind of like that.
That's actually such contained destruction. Like, what were they doing there? Like, who was like, we should do this here. We should get an E3 with our 3 showcase features.
4 if you count Godfall, but
right,
actually no, 4 if you count Homeworld. Just because they didn't show that, they just announced it. And they spent a lot more time on like roaming around the set of the Borderlands movie.
Hey, it's us, and from that one game that you might know us from, the
Yeah.
Borderlands.
So, Slash, would you like to rate the
Oh,
Gearboxes?
can we say it in unison? Like, I want to see if we are thinking the same thing.
All right.
All
3,
right,
2, 1, 5 out of 10.
1. What? It was
I
very
can't.
bad.
I can't like Gearbox. They're a developer.
Okay,
They're not
but
a
if we're
publisher.
judging
Okay, then
okay,
maybe not a 5. You're
objectively,
right. Maybe I wouldn't give it a 1 though.
objectively, it's a 1 or a 2.
I'd
I'm
say
just saying.
like
You
Ubisoft
could
had
give
a
it a
lot
3.
more like just
You
what
gave
felt like
Ubisoft a 5, and they had like
they had like some good games, but
stuff.
it was mostly like it seemed like a lot of filler. Gearbox was 30 minutes. Ubisoft was like an hour and a half.
That's fair. You have to think about time. Okay, maybe 3.
Maybe 3, yeah.
3 is fair. I'd probably give it a 2.5 then.
I mean, it was more the fact that Gearbox didn't really need to have a press conference. They really
Yeah,
did.
but like that's not our fault.
And I know.
So,
Yeah,
I'm sure you guys loved our review.
don't worry. That's that. But where this episode of Chill with the Miikcast is not done. We'll be back. For us,
Yes,
it'll be
we will.
tomorrow, but for you, it'll be like 2 seconds with reviews for Microsoft / Bethesda, as well as Square and Warner Brothers. Although they're really just gonna have Back for Blood, as far as I know. So maybe we won't talk about that. Although I am looking forward to Back for Blood, so we'll see. But yeah, see you in 2 seconds. So we are back, and did you miss us? Probably not, because
No.
I know you didn't go anywhere. But yeah, it's just me and Slash. We haven't moved, as it probably looks
I
like.
moved.
There's like no one else here. Today we are discussing Microsoft / Bethesda, who shared a press conference, and Square Enix. We're gonna do WB, but they were mostly just a one big old Back for Blood presentation, which looks like a good game. Maybe we'll tomorrow when we talk about Take-Two and Capcom, maybe we'll slip in some Back for Blood discussion. But yeah. So Microsoft. I have the list of announcements. I think in chronological order as well. Pulled up. So we'll just go in order. I'll start off by saying Microsoft and Bethesda. Since it was both Microsoft and Bethesda, I was very interested in this just because, there's a lot they could have here. So we started off with Starfield, and Starfield looks really good. It was announced at E3 in 2018. But then, it was... We didn't hear anything about it in 2019, didn't hear anything about it in 2020, and we got a full-on trailer for it in this year. And kind of strange, though, they showed it here, but then announced that it won't be coming out till November of 2022. That's not... So it's not... We're not getting it till another year and a half, which I don't understand why. Like, you could show it if you want, but then don't give it a release date yet. Don't give us the release date if it's not going to be out till 2022, like late 2022. But it looks really good. I'm really excited for it. They didn't show much gameplay, if any, but looks interesting. Slash, anything you have to say about Starfield?
I like space, and I think that this game looked pretty epic based on how it was revealed. I like some of the graphics and stuff, and I actually would probably get it if it wasn't an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, that's another thing. This game is Xbox exclusive, so that's a big get. I mean, we should have expected that it was going to be one, but people argued with me. No, they're going to make Starfield multi-platform. It's like Microsoft bought Bethesda to. So according to you, Microsoft bought Bethesda to have their games multi-plat. What? No, they're going to secure more IP, which is what they're doing with Starfield. So yeah. Any final thoughts on Starfield?
It looks cool. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm not going to be able to play it, but I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah. Next up is Stalker 2, and it got a full-on title, Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl. I never played the first Stalker. In fact, when I first heard about this game, I was like, wait, there's a Stalker 1? This is a sequel? But, so I'm not quite... But the game looks really good. Like, visually, it looks good. It's like a first-person shooter, and Gunshow said it's like Call of Duty meets The Last of Us. Yeah, I watched it with Gunshow, guys. Yeah, and you know what? I kind of agree with that. It looks like that. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about Stalker 2. It does look pretty interesting, though. Slash?
No, I think it looks very good. The game, the gameplay and stuff looks really hot and sexy. And I heard that isn't it going to be a Game Pass thing?
Yeah, no, that's true. Like 30 games here, 27 of them are going to be day one Game Pass, which is
you love to see it. You love to see it. What can I say?
Yeah.
That's it.
Next up, Back for Blood. I don't know if this is actually in order of the announcements. I just have I'm looking at Ars Technica, but this seems like the order. But Back for Blood was shown. Obviously, we already have we knew about Back for Blood. It was announced at the Game Awards, and then we had some footage dropped since then. We had a beta, and then we probably right now as we're recording, there's the Back for Blood showcase. But we got this shown, and the big thing is that this is a day one Game Pass game. That's a big get for Game Pass, I feel. This is a big get. This is a third-party game, so yeah, and the game looks really good. It looks I'm excited to play it. Slash, what do you think about Back for Blood? What they shown it coming to Game Pass.
Oh, it looks very I must say that Xbox has definitely, I mean not Xbox, that Microsoft has stepped their game up. But say in terms of grabbing viewers in with announcements and stuff, and before, I mean, I would still say to some degree that everyone is probably still wants a PS5, but I feel like more people are definitely going to get an Xbox than they were before, because I feel like there's just a lot of good announcements that they've been making, and the Game Pass looks very
Game Pass. I feel like Game Pass is probably the number one reason to get an Xbox.
I feel now. Yeah, I feel like the Game Pass is kind of going to be the future of gaming in a way.
Yeah.
Or
at least the future at least the future of Xbox. At least.
We'll see.
Yeah. So that was Back for Blood. Next game was Contraband, which was strange. They were showing it, and I was like, "What is this?" I felt like it was gonna be a some IP we already knew about, but then we got Contraband. Just a CG trailer. I had no idea. No, it was like an open world game. It said that it was gonna be like that, but we have no idea how the game plays. There was not much to it. I don't get why you need to have so many CG trailers, to be honest, but whatever. Slash, any thoughts on Contraband?
Well, based on what I can make out from the trailers, it seems like it's going to be some kind of heist game. The name Contraband would also kind of support that, so that could be cool. But I feel like it's a little too early to make any actual opinions about it. I mean, based on the CG, it looks pretty cool. Am I right, guys? But
Yeah.
I think we could get another decent game here. Nothing like incredible, but I mean, it's from Avalanche, which
Yeah.
is
They made
Avalanche.
they did make Rage 2 and Just Cause 4,
They did.
which aren't
They did do that, didn't they?
aren't the best, I'll say,
They
but
did do that though, didn't they?
they did.
Yeah. So this I don't know. Maybe we can get a good heist game out of it. I'm assuming it's a heist game based on the trailer.
Uh-huh. The
Yeah,
next
that's
game
pretty
was
much it.
Battlefield 2042, which they announced earlier this week in just not a uh,
Damn.
not a press conference or anything. They just showed it. But the gameplay they showed here was actually looked really good. Like, I hadn't seen the gameplay. I hadn't seen the reveal earlier. But the gameplay they showed looked really good, I have to say. It's like a futuristic Battlefield game, which is cool. Yeah, Slash, anything you have to say about Battlefield 2042?
I think like you said, the gameplay looks like boom, like very, very good. And what the? Sorry. And I like the futuristic vibe that they're going for. I have one of the Battlefield games. I think I have the first one, so that's great.
Yeah.
But definitely, I'm looking forward to see the future of like combat. In Battlefield 2042. Maybe we'll have I'm excited to see what they're gonna do in this new setting.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah. Alright,
hazards.
so that was everything for Battlefield 2042. We're kind of just flying through these, but
We're
we don't
flying.
want this episode to go on forever. This is gonna be a long one, but we don't want it to go on forever. So
No, it definitely will go on forever. It's the infinite one.
the next game was 12 minutes, which was announced at Microsoft's event last year, I think. And they announced it. It's an interesting game. Like, some guy's stuck in a time loop, and I always find those concepts interesting. And it got a release date of August 19th, 2021. So that's good. It looks cool. I don't know if I'll play it, like, especially since it might be yeah, it's an Xbox launch exclusive. I don't know if I'm gonna play it, but it's supposed to have James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and Willem Dafoe. Okay, I didn't know that.
Well, I'm in the game too. I'm there too.
Yeah, Slash is there too, guys. Slash, as a star of the game, what do
Yeah,
you think of 12 minutes?
as a star of the game, they should have used me more, honestly. You know. But yeah, I think it's a very interesting concept for a game. Like you're stuck in a loop for whatever, and there are other games that I've seen that where you've been stuck in some sort of a time loop, and those games have all been very interesting to me. I haven't played any of them personally, but I've watched videos on them and stuff,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's one of those games that's probably gonna create a lot of problem solving. It's gonna be a fun puzzle game. There's probably gonna be a decent amount of lore in like why whatever's happening is happening.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think it could. There's a lot of signs that this could be a very cool, very epic game.
Yeah. Okay. The next game. Oh boy. Let's
Oh
go,
boy.
baby. Psychonauts 2
yeah.
is finally has a release date. Psychonauts 2 get like every Xbox, E3, every, presentation, every Xbox game showcase, whatever. They show Psychonauts, never give it a release date, but they finally gave it a release date this time. August 25th. I realize a
Funny number.
lot's coming out in August. And I don't have Xbox yet, but it's coming on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC and PS4. So I'll probably cop that on PS4. But
Cop it. Yeah, cop it.
it looks I don't think the trailer showed us anything new aside from the release date. But I'm just excited that it finally got a release date, bro. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, Slash, anything you have to say about Psychonauts 2?
Huh?
Anything you have to say about Psychonauts 2?
Oh yeah, it's definitely. It's the first one was a fantastic game, according to you, at least. I
Mm-hmm.
trust you.
It's a hidden gem.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Oh, someone's here.
Oh, who's that? I can't see. Hey, SquidWario, what's up?
Yo, what's up, squad?
Yeah, we're in the middle of talking about Microsoft
We're
and
talking about
Bethesda's.
hidden gems right now.
No, we're in the middle of talking about Microsoft and Bethesda's press conference. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I actually did watch it a little while.
Baller.
All right, so very quickly, I'll ask you about the games that we just went over. Starfield, what'd you think of Starfield?
Seemed pretty decent. I think it was good.
All right, yeah. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl.
Stalker.
That seemed all right to me.
Back for Blood.
Back for Blood seemed cool.
Yeah, especially since it's coming to Game Pass Day 1. That's a big get for Game Pass.
Yeah, that's huge.
Contraband.
Contraband looks cool.
Battlefield 2042.
Looking awesome, that's for sure.
Yeah, that looked really good. 12 Minutes.
12 Minutes seems cool as well.
How do you remember all this?
He watched
it.
I know you watched it.
Watched it, and
Never.
to be honest, I'm just impressed of like the new game designs and stuff. Yeah. Honestly.
And then you joined while we were talking about Psychonauts 2. So,
okay.
What did you think of that?
I think that went all right, pretty well.
Yeah, Slash, are you done talking about Psychonauts 2? I don't remember if SquidWario's arrival cut you off or not.
Yeah. I'm sorry I'm late, guys.
It's all right. It's all good.
Fine. It's 7:04. You're on time for one of the possible times we gave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm so happy it's got a release date. You all know I'm buying that game.
I do, in fact, know that.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on Psychonauts 2? I almost knocked over one of the camera lights, which yes, I have, by the way. So, any final thoughts? No. All right.
Squid. He was talking to you, Squid.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I was talking to both of you, but
I already talked. So.
Yeah, Psychonauts is definitely looking good out there.
All right.
Of course.
Next up is a weird game that was announced, but honestly, it kind of looks like a lot of fun. Like I kind of want to play this. Party Animals. You guys know the game. You guys know the game Gang Beasts, right?
Yeah.
It basically looks like Gang Beasts, but with animals, and it looks like fun. It doesn't. It shouldn't look. It shouldn't be as exciting as it is. It's probably not like going to be my top 10 favorite announcements of E3, but it looked interesting. Slash, what did you think of Party Animals?
Honestly, I think it's animal cruelty, so I can't support this game, you know.
All right. SquidWario, what do you think?
I mean, what I think about the Party Animals, at first it kind of almost looks like Fall Guys, just the way like the character designs are. It kind of does remind me of Fall Guys, but I think it looks really cool. Like the designs are definitely impressive, just like most of the games that were showed anyway.
Yeah.
I will say though that I was joking, obviously, but I will say though that it's very, 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 very similar to Gang Beasts. So
yeah, no. Gang Beasts is a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I mean, this should be fun as well, you know. And it's another. I don't know if you said this already, but it's another Game Pass thing. So
yeah, no, it is. Like there are 30 games announced here or shown here. 27 of them, I believe, are Game Pass. Day 1.
I'm down.
That's big. So
I'm down. I'm down with Xbox.
The next, like we said earlier, SquidWario, you weren't here for that, but like we said earlier, Game Pass is probably the number one reason to have an Xbox right now. You know. So,
yeah, definitely.
the next game was Somerville. This one was kind of weird. It kind of reminded me of Inside and Limbo. Some indie games that came out a few years ago that were pretty solid.
Also, a city in Massachusetts.
Yeah. I don't really know what to say about this game, but it looks. Well, I'm reading the description this website gives it. Somerville gives off some inside. Hey, it mentions inside. So inside and Kentucky Route Zero vibes, as it showcases a family trying to wander through through atmospheric 2D environments amid an apparent alien invasion. That checks out, as its developing studio, Jumpship, was formed by former members of Playdead, who made Inside and Limbo. So yeah, okay, it's not just me that I'm noticing the similarities between this and Inside and Limbo. Slash, anything to say about Somerville?
Oh, I think it looks weird, like quite weird, in fact. But there's definitely an interesting art style present. I will say, at least in the trailer. But I really like I don't know how to explain this, but the art style is weird in a way, and I can't think of another comparison besides Inside. But I think it looks sick. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
It almost looks like it's like hand drawn in some places.
Yeah. Like it looks hand drawn, but it's also in 3D, which is
it's
like
so
if you
cool.
can make it like that, that's cool.
Definitely very impressive.
Yeah.
No, I really like what was shown, but I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but it definitely looks really cool, at least from the trailer.
Yeah.
Definitely a unique art style. I will say.
Yeah. And SquidWario, what did you think of Somerville?
I think it was. Well, I mean, as you said, like the designs, like even though it's like in 3D because it's a video game, like it does have like a nice kind of design.
2D Mario.
Continue, SquidWario.
All right. But yeah, overall, like I think Somerville seems like a nice game that will probably be worth for gamers to play.
Yeah. All right. Next up is this was a big one for this event. Halo Infinite.
Yep.
Hello.
Now I will say, last year was about this time last year when they showed it, and it looked it didn't look very good.
It didn't look like a next gen game.
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't look like a next gen game, and so much so that they actually had to it was going to come out as a launch title for the Xbox Series, and they delayed it pretty much a full year later. But they showed it, and it looks a lot better. The cutscene they showed was really cool, and they showed off the multiplayer, which looked a lot of fun. One weird thing though was that this was actually very strange. Me and Gunshow, SquidWario Gunshow is actually my special guest on my reaction.
Among Us.
Among Us is on here. We'll get to that.
True.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. I said we're probably gonna see a release date for Halo Infinite, and then Gunshow goes, it's probably just gonna be holiday 2021. I go, no, come on. They have to give an actual release date.
Guess who was wrong?
All they put was holiday 2020. I don't holiday 2021 is at the very that implies at most the next half of the year. I feel like you gotta put an actual release date.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm impressed with what they showed for Halo Infinite. It looks good. And the free to play multiplayer's a plus. So yeah. Slash, anything to say about Halo Infinite?
I'm so happy that they because it's obviously when you're a company, it's hard to do this sort of thing and be like, yeah, we messed up. We have to pull this back. We wanted this to be a major selling point for our thing, and now we can't. There's some companies that probably would have just been
just release it.
Yeah, just release it.
Yeah.
But Microsoft didn't. and we're gonna probably see a much better game as a result. I mean, we already have in the trailer, and I'm excited that they you know, aren't going. At least the game will look better, and it will look like it's next gen, and it will look like it's at home on the Series X. So
Yeah.
poggers.
SquidWario, anything to say about Halo Infinite?
Yeah, looks like Halo Infinite definitely is looking like entirely exciting. Like I'd say that that's one of the best reveals out of this whole showcase, in my
Definitely,
opinion. Yeah, yeah, because like the game, just the way it looks, amazing. Like it looks, and it looks popular. You know, like this game is also pretty significant considering like not only does Xbox turn 20 this year, but like Halo is
Yeah.
also 20 as well. So this is, I think, also very significant for the franchise.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so and I didn't know Xbox turns 20 this year until I watched the event. So that's big. Xbox
Yeah,
has been around for 20 years. Goddamn.
yeah. The first console was released in 2001.
Yeah. All right. So the next game was Diablo 2 Resurrected. Now my personal gripes with Blizzard aside, this looks pretty good. Not my type of game anyway, so I'm probably not gonna play it. But we did get a release date. I don't think this was revealed before. On here it says Diablo 2 Resurrected Street Date trailer, so that implies that the release date was not revealed before. This September 23rd of this year for Xbox One. Oh no, it does say I did see Xbox Series on there, but Xbox Series, Xbox One, PS4, PS5, Switch. I didn't know it was coming to Switch and Windows. Yeah, they didn't show anything new, and it's also not a Game Pass day one game. That would have been a big fucking get for Game Pass. That would have been big, but it's not. That's fine. Not every game needs to be on Game Pass, because then there's no reason to give any company money. So obviously, but Slash, what did you think of Diablo 2 Resurrected?
You know, like you said, at least I mean, I feel like we have somewhat similar tastes in games when it comes to not wanting to play a certain game as much for whatever reason. This isn't a game probably that I would play. However, for people who probably would like enjoy games like this, it definitely looks very solid. And not like you said, also not on the Game Pass. But I still think like you said, obviously not everything can be on the Game Pass. But I still think it's gonna get quite a few buyers, and I think Diablo was also a very popular game in the past. So hopefully
You
this
know,
sequel
it is.
is poggers, you know?
Yeah.
Squiddy.
I did not know this was coming to the Switch, so that's kind of news for me. But yeah. SquidWario. Anything you have to say about Diablo 2 Resurrected?
So, as you said, like I'm surprised it's coming to all these other consoles too. Like if this were to be like the Xbox showcase, I would expect most of the games obviously being exclusive for Xbox. But
Well, I don't mean to cut you off there, but Xbox's E3 is like not all third parties have presentations, so they put theirs on in Microsoft's, but so that's probably why this was there. So, but yeah, I get what you mean. Sorry, continue.
yeah, but overall the game seems exciting, just like most of the other announcements. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that.
All right, next game was a Plague Tale Requiem. Now, this seems like completely new to you guys, but actually there was a Plague Tale Innocence that came out, I think, a couple years ago, and it got some pretty good reviews. I didn't play it, but it looked really good. I actually wanted to play it at one point. I never got around to buying it, but yeah, it looked like a lot of fun. So they're giving a sequel, which seems big, and I think, let's see, is it? It looks like it doesn't say here, but it looks like it's an Xbox console exclusive, which is interesting. But Oh, not much to it really. Slash, what did you think of Plague Tale Requiem?
Oh, I think it's, you know, like I said like 50 times today, not really my type of game. However, Plague kind of relatable at this point. So maybe I'll have to get it just to compare it to my quarantine experience,
Yeah.
And also maybe a Game Pass game, right? Or is it a
That
game?
might be a Game Pass game.
Okay. So yeah, more reason to get the Game Pass. I feel like
Yeah.
everyone's gonna get the Game Pass.
I'm sure everyone who has an Xbox has Game
Definitely.
Pass, and if they
There's
don't, it's like it's right
why
there. It's right there. Why don't you get it? So yeah.
there are combos you can like get the Game Pass with, like you can buy it with the console, like
No,
for
definitely. Yeah, I've tried doing that actually. It didn't work out because no Xboxes. But yeah. Was that all you had, Slash?
yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, SquidWario. What'd you think of A Plague's Tale Requiem?
I'd say that was pretty cool. Like overall, it seems interesting with the game and how it looks like. So yeah, this is probably going to be another game that I'd say a lot of gamers are probably going to be into and look forward to as well.
All right. Now,
Gamer.
this next game is a game that I didn't think needed to be here, because it was shown off yesterday in Ubisoft's event. And I also haven't been following it until pretty much yesterday and today. But with just seeing it yesterday and just seeing it today, I think I can say I'm excited for this game. That is Far Cry 6. And it I don't think it needed to be here, but we did see a cool new trailer for it. We got like a nice in-depth look at it yesterday, so that's why I don't think it needed to be here. But it still looks cool, and I'm honestly excited. Coming October 7th to Xbox and PlayStation consoles and Windows. So Slash, what do you have to say about what they showed for Far Cry 6?
It's on Xbox. I had no idea until they revealed it. Yeah, it we already saw this yesterday. Pretty epic still, not gonna lie. Cool new little trailer that they did. Um yeah, but same thing as yesterday, basically the game looks pretty good. This has only probably made me more excited for it. And yeah, maybe another villain that you can use.
Yeah, and also it's Gus Fring from Breaking Bad, which makes it better. Giancarlo Esposito is basically like the villain guy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's quite a villain, if I
Yeah.
do say so.
Wario, what do you think about what they showed for Far Cry 6?
So Far Cry 6, I'd say I'd say probably that was epic. Like the announcement, the trailer, it looked very epic. I'd say that.
All right. Um, Next up was a weird game, Slime Rancher 2. Now, if you want to hear a little funny story, I told Slash about this earlier, but I didn't tell SquidWario about this, and I also didn't tell anyone this who basically wasn't watching my live reaction. Twitch.tv/DPX_solo if you want to watch me live. Sorry about that, but
He's not sorry at all.
no, I was watching this with Gun Show, and we were like, what is this? What am I looking at? And we saw the title, and it was like Slime Rancher. Okay, this is weird. And then we saw number 2. I'm like, what? Slime Rancher 2? What happened to the first one? I looked up, and apparently there was a Slime Rancher 1 that was
A big hit.
yeah, apparently good enough to get a sequel, I guess. And it looks cool. It looks funny. Guncho said I should make a solo missions of the first Slime Rancher game. So,
Can't wait to ranch the slimes.
yeah. Slash, anything you have to say about Slime Rancher 2?
Oh, there's no way, probably in hell, that I'm getting this game. Just to be honest with you, but it looks good for what it's supposed to be. I guess I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
I do like the art style. It's kind of cool. Not gonna
yeah.
lie.
The art
It's a
style is cool.
little bit of a fantasy thing, but based on what I've heard about the first one, it's probably not something I would get. It was actually a very popular game previously, but definitely not my thing.
Yeah. SquidWario, your thoughts on Slime Rancher 2?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say
He's gonna
I
say
kind
it.
of didn't think this franchise really existed. So, but either way,
You said it.
it's like the footage did definitely look good. I will say that the footage definitely was good of what I saw, and but yeah, I honestly did not think that this really was in existence like the prequel. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, still pretty good, I'd say.
Okay. The next game is Shredders. And if you look at the logo, it'll have you believe that it's called Shredders Shredders. I don't know why they put the word Shredders twice in the logo, but it's this snowboarding game. Uh, and yeah, it wasn't. There's not a whole lot to say about Shredders, I feel, but it looked interesting. I don't mind snowboarding games, to be honest. Slash, what'd you think of Shredders?
Oh, me and Shredders, we don't have the best relationship, gonna be honest. Shredders? I thought that was the snowboarding one, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know. I think it looks cool. I'm not a snowboarder. I don't normally get sports games and stuff unless like I'll get a sports game like once every like 5 years or every 4 years or so because there's no point in getting like FIFA. Oh wait, maybe I shouldn't shout out EA. There's no point in getting a game and then getting the exact same game with like minor changes
Mm-hmm.
like 2 years later. So I don't know. I don't I have a snowboard in game, but it's like really old, so maybe it's time for a little bit of an upgrade, and maybe I'll get Shredders, even though I don't have an Xbox. Nor do
Well,
I
is it
plan to.
coming exclusive to Xbox?
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Well,
Yeah, because I think that was the Bethesda in one of their trailers.
yeah. Wario,
Uh,
thoughts on Shredders?
I think it looks awesome. I will say, like, I think it's kind of about time that there is like a new game with snowboarding, and really like overall, like the way it looks, it just looks cool, and just almost looks like you're in the game. Like, and that's what's amazing about many new video games today. Like, where they make the like graphics look so good, it almost looks realistic. You know?
Yeah.
yes,
Um,
sir.
So yeah, Shredders. I mean, like I guess like I kind of don't know why it would be called Shredders unless that does have
because you
something to do
shred,
with.
you like, there's like a snowboarding move called like
Yeah,
the shred or whatever.
I mean that's what I was thinking. Unless that has like is what if that has something to do with actual snowboarding. But
Yeah.
yeah, overall, like the footage, the trailer, and like the game, it seems like it's going to be a really great game to play. So I'm looking forward to that one.
All right. And then the next game was something that was weird. They showed like a weird looking cartoony fucking lunchbox with a face on a wheel, and then they showed a trailer that looked rather more normal called Atomic Heart. And I'm going to read the description here. It says Atomic Heart is a Bioshock esque shooter mixing gunplay and telekinetic powers amid robots, mutants, and a vaguely J-pop soundtrack. No release window provided for the game, which is planned for PlayStation and Xbox consoles and Windows. So yeah, it's supposed to be similar to Bioshock. Bioshock, it was fucking awesome, but it just showed like a CG trailer here, not much gameplay. So not much to really say about. I almost said Shredders again for some reason, but Atomic Heart. Slash, what do you have to say about Atomic Heart?
Goodness. I it it looks very interesting, I guess. Very artistically flavored, and I don't know. It just looks really weird. It,
Yeah.
y- and hopefully it's not just like the trailer hopefully like maintains to be weird, but it looks really yeah, it looks really interesting.
Yeah, you're struggling to find something to say, and I get it because it
I
was.
don't know how to explain it honestly.
You know, no,
You
I
have
get
to
it.
you have to have seen it to understand.
Yeah,
Um,
SquidWario.
kind of like
Hmm.
Fallout, no?
Like I'd say uh a pretty good game. I'll say that one for sure. Like that's for sure. Like I'd say that game seems pretty good. That's all I can say. Like I mean I really don't know what else to really say about that game, but overall it did seem cool.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, it seems interesting. Maybe I'll have my eye out for that one because it's also coming to PlayStation. So
Game Pass as well,
Yeah.
right? So
yeah,
I
and
mean,
Game Pass. Just about all these games are coming to Game Pass.
I know
Um,
I'm just reminding you so you can tell the viewers.
the next game was Replaced, which is a strange look a game. It was. It seemed like some weird 2D side-scrolling Resident Evil like game, but it was 2D, and a pixelated. The pixelated art style looked cool, but I'm not wasn't quite sure what to make of the rest of it. Yeah, we start to get into some weird announcements, really, but yeah. So Replaced slash. What did you think of Replaced?
I don't know. Like I feel like towards this part of the presentation they started showing more of their, I guess, unique and more interesting, not maybe not interesting, but more strange ideas. This definitely seems like it has some kind of a futuristic cyberpunk kind of vibe in a way. No?
Yeah.
I would say that. And yeah, I don't know. Based on what I've seen, it looks pretty interesting and I feel like it's going to be cool and I really like how they did the whole pixel thing.
Mm-hmm.
The art style looks really sick.
Yeah. SquidWario, thoughts on Replaced?
Uh, I'd say that game was kind of cool. The yeah, Replace seems interesting for a video game title, but I'd say dec- I'd say it's decent. Like I'd say that.
All right.
Okay.
Next game is Euden Chronicle, which I believe that's like it's a spiritual successor to the Suikoden games, which is like an RPG series from Konami. And it was like a spiritual successor, as I said, but like it was a Kickstarter. I know this because I recently, like a few months ago, covered it on the Miikcast station, and it was announced that um, the game will be coming out next year, and a Euden Chronicle 100 Heroes. We got a new trailer for that, and we'll get like a fighting game called Euden Chronicle Rising coming in 2023. Slash, what did you think of Euden Chronicle?
Not an RPG guy, but it didn't look that bad and the fact that it's the successor to that to how do you pronounce it again? I'm not good
Suikoden?
with pronouncing. Yes, Suikunin. I fucked it. But
It's
you
alright.
you guys you guys know I was trying at least. Yeah, but I don't know, it definitely should sell relatively well. And is it Game Pass? It is, right?
I
Or am I
think it
dumb?
might be.
I mean, basically everything is. So
Yeah.
maybe if I happen to get the Xbox or the Game Pass or whatever, I'll give it a try and try to do more RPGs. So I don't know. I think it looks pretty good, but not really my thing.
Yeah, Squario.
Hmm. I'd say I'd say with that game, like it seemed pretty cool as well.
Alright. The next game was The Ascent. I actually don't remember anything from The Ascent. I have nothing to say about it, but it's coming to Game Pass. Uh,
Yay!
so, Slash, what do you have to say about The Ascent?
Oh boy, don't even get me started about the Ascend. Ah, hold on, I don't really remember this either. Let me pull up an article. Okay, so it looks like it's basically just going to be a pretty cool game, and it's some kind of an RPG developed by Neon Giant, so you already know it's going to be cool. It's a bit of a futuristic kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Um, you got these people who you play as, and they're mercenaries, and they're on like some colony or whatever that's on a different planet, and basically they there's there's some kind of never mind. I'm not gonna go into the lore of everything, but I think it's an interesting concept. Once again, I feel like I'm broken record. I don't know if I'll get it, but it looks pretty cool. I'm kind of a sci-fi guy. Like I mean, like I like sci-fi and stuff, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
All right, SquidWario, what'd you think of the Ascent?
I'd say it's pretty cool. Like sci-fi genre, like the sci-fi genre does have some good video game titles. I will say that.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd say Ascent was another cool looking reveal. So honestly, like it seems like a game that that Xbox people are probably gonna look forward to.
They're gonna be like, "Yay!" and then they're gonna buy it.
Yeah. All right. Next game is Age of Empires 4. Again, not my kind of game. Didn't really care much about this game, so not gonna say anything. Slash, what do you think of Age of Empires 4?
Why do you want me to talk about Age of Empires
Well, I don't know.
4?
Do you have anything to say about it?
Give me a second.
No,
I
you
need to
don't.
pull up my.
You don't have to
I have
make
to
up
pull
stuff
up-
to say about
No,
it.
I had to pull up my notes. I had to pull my notes. Oh yeah, Age of Empires 4. Age of Empires used to be the like game in like the early 90s, and Age of Empires 4 hopefully is a return to Age of Empires,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, the original was very popular. Um and Age of Empires has always been a very popular franchise. So hopefully, they continue doing their thing and pop off.
All right. Wario, Age of Empires 4. Anything to say?
Hmm. Well, with Age of Empires 4, like I would say for that one, like it's good that they're kind of like renewing, like they're adding a new game to like a older franchise. I'd say to like for like new like people that like want to get into the franchise and people that were in the franchise in the past, like they can like go back to it.
Yeah.
So overall, looking good. I'd say that, and hopefully the game turns out to be a success.
All right. The next one was. This was a big announcement. The Outer Worlds is
Yes.
getting a sequel. That's big. Outer Worlds 2. The Outer Worlds was a really good game. Obviously, I don't think it was a little overrated. I feel I don't think it deserved a Game of the Year nomination, but definitely a solid game. I don't want to take that away from it. And I liked the trailer was funny. The trailer was like, it basically like was self-aware in the fact that it was like, oh, is this we're showing you this one shot, and this will not be in the game at all. Now we have this fantasy-looking atmosphere, also will not be in the game at all. Now here's the character. We're not showing you his face because we haven't made his face yet. This game has not started development yet. And it was with all these CG trailers that E3 the companies are revealing at E3. I kind of like it when one pokes fun at it. I get it, like acknowledging that something is a thing and then you go and do the thing doesn't make it better, but I feel like this one is an exception. I feel. So yeah, in terms of gameplay or anything though, we didn't get anything at all. But that was sort of the whole point. So Slash, what did you think?
I thought the trailer was very interesting. Um, I like you already said this, but I like how they used all of those tropes that companies just have gotten into, like I guess the rhythm of using and stuff. And they were just like, yeah, we're gonna do all of this, but we're just gonna point it out. So I don't know, very interesting. If nothing else, it at least gives the game personality and shows that it's
Yeah.
or tries to show that it's different. Yeah, so I don't know anything really about the game, but yeah, the trailer was kind of good.
I'm like, I guess like when it comes to being about the, I'm sure, I guess like it's gonna be a lot like The Outer Worlds because it's a sequel.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
SquidWario,
I didn't.
thoughts on The Outer Worlds too?
I'd say Outer Worlds 2 was pretty cool. Um, Hopefully it does turn out to be a good game like the others. Um,
That's what I'm.
so yeah, I hopefully best of luck to that game as well.
All right,
They
and
have your.
this
They have
next game was one of the biggest reveals in the entire. In fact, when it came to like actually revealing new games, this probably was the biggest. Forza Horizon 5. Now we have like Forza Horizon. We have Forza games yearly, but we haven't gotten a Forza game for years, for a while. So yeah, we got Forza Horizon 5 officially announced, and I don't know if I want to play it. I mean, it's Xbox. I don't have an Xbox, so I can't play it. But like, if I did, I don't know if I would play it. But it looks really good. Like, it looks like visually, it looks really good. It takes place in Mexico, where you will drive through amazing-looking deserts and waterfalls alike. And
What
it
website
looks.
are you on?
I'm on Ars Technica.
Okay.
And yeah, it looked really good. And it's coming November 9th. So yeah, Slash, anything that's about Forza Horizon 5?
I thought it looked very interesting. I'm don't know if I'll get it or not, but I. Oh my god, I've just been saying the same thing about that, but I don't know. I think it looks very cool. Um, Forza 5,
Yeah.
like what we said already, very large reveal. The everything in the game looks so like beautiful and like so nice and so polished. And not I don't know if it's not really my like I'm not a racing guy unless it's like I don't know unless it's some game that like is stupid besides Mario Kart, I guess that's the exception. I don't really do racing games, but it looks really sick, I'll be honest.
All right. SquidWario. Anything to say about um, Forza Horizon 5?
I think it looks cool. Um, yeah, I mean, it looks cool. Um, like honestly, like the way the game looks, and since it's racing, it'll be a cool game for people to play, and I'm sure like it will be good to play if you want to compete with friends.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can see it becoming like a new game that people are gonna want to play with each other. So I can see success possibly coming to this game too.
All right, and the last announcement. There's still more listed here because they're like updates for games. But the last thing that was announced here is Redfall, which is a Bethesda game. So we had another Bethesda game shown here, and it's by Arcane. They're really good. They made the Dishonored games and they made Prey, and they're making the upcoming Deathloop game. This is Redfall. We didn't. All we saw was one long ass pre-rendered trailer, but it looks good. It looks interesting. I'll read this little description. Arcane Studios' Redfall is a vampire-themed supernatural shooter with a diverse cast and an irreverent attitude based on its first pre-rendered trailer. It's coming in summer 2022 on Xbox Series and Windows. So yeah, it looks interesting. But I have no idea how the game plays or anything. We did not see any of that. But it looks interesting. Slash, what do you think about Redfall?
Oh, I absolutely hate vampires, so I'm really happy that I get to blast them in this game. And yeah, it looks very interesting. And overall, I saw in the trailers. I'm liking what I see. Yeah,
All right.
that's it.
SquidWario, what'd you think of Redfall?
So Redfall, I think, was cool. I'd say Redfall. I think it's interesting how it's going to be like another fighting game, and where you're basically fighting vampires and monsters. So I'm sure, I'm sure the game will come out decently, definitely, and hopefully gamers really like it.
Yep. We're not getting it for another year though. It says coming in summer 2022, so it's a
Yeah.
year off. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, now we got some updates for games. I won't we won't dwell on these for too long. There's one that I want to talk about for a bit, but there's Sea of Thieves, A Pirate's Life, which is basically just a um uh Pirates of the Caribbean. Jack Sparrow and Davy Jones are coming to Sea of Thieves, so I'm sure Antsam's really looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, true, because they're crossing over with Disney.
Yep. Yakuza Like a Dragon is coming on Game Pass today at the time of recording. This is not coming. This is not going to go up at the time we're recording. But at the time of recording, the time the day this presentation was, Yakuza Like a Dragon is on Game Pass. That's pretty big. But over here, this is like sort of when the presentations stumbled. I feel. Fallout 76. Why are they still supporting this game? I didn't even know they're still supporting this game. This game was one of the few examples of a game that came out and has gotten worse. Most games come out, and if they're bad, they get better over time. This game came out and got worse. Think about that. And they're still updating it. Give it up. Okay, just give up. Honestly, I don't like telling people to give up, but like, it's a loss. 76 Fallout 76 is a lost cause. They're saying like it's got a strong player base. Does it really? Does it like? Do you know anyone? No, /SquidWario. Genuinely, do you guys know anyone who plays Fallout 76 still?
I don't know. Still to this day, I have no idea. But I mean, I do have a friend who I remember was into the Fallout franchise like years ago.
But did he play 76?
Probably not. Probably not.
76. He might have in the past, but
does he still play it?
I have no idea.
Probably
like,
not.
I don't
Call him
really,
up right now.
Yeah, I don't think he's into it as much anymore. That's all I can say.
All right. So yeah. Didn't really need to be there, to be honest. Hades is coming to Xbox. That's big. Hades is a great game, and more people being allowed to play it is a plus. There are rumors that this was gonna come to Game Pass day one, but there's no words that said it was gonna be coming to Game Pass. But what's weird is that I'm looking on this fucking website, and it has the video linked, and the video is titled. Alright, it's not just the website saying this. The video is titled Hades coming to Game Pass. So it's coming to Game Pass, guys. We got an update for Grounded again. Like, did you even know about Grounded? It actually seems like a fun game. I saw gameplay for it. It seems fun, but like, you guys really like know about like who cares really? And then the last one was an update, a big update. For Among Us. I was not expecting this, but 15-player lobbies.
Yes.
That's big. But even I can't find fucking 10 people to play with sometimes. Let alone 15. That's gonna be hectic. When we can get 15 people though, that'll be hectic and awesome.
I don't even have friends.
So I actually wanted to. I didn't ask you guys for your thoughts on all the other updates for games, but I do want to ask you for your thoughts on this. Slash, what are your thoughts on 15-player lobbies for Among Us? Slash? Alright, SquidWario, what are your thoughts on 15-player lobbies for Among Us?
I think it's cool. And like and obviously more players means they're adding more characters. So like obviously they're adding different playable colors too. And honestly,
That's true.
like
I didn't think of that.
yeah, like obviously more players means more colors are needed. So
Yeah, like I see, like there's like maroon. There's like
right,
some whitish
coral,
like
I've heard.
yeah. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Antsam, what's up? We're talking about Microsoft and Bethesda's E3, and we're also talking about no, let's not shift the focus. We're gonna be talking about Squares after this. Did you even watch any of them?
I didn't get a chance. No.
All right, so I mean, if you want to stay here, then you could, but like,
yeah, I can. I'm gonna chill here for a bit.
all right. So yeah, I guess we'll go over final thoughts all in all on Bethesda and Microsoft's press conference before we shift over to Squares. So I'll go around first, and then we'll go to myself, I guess.
Yay.
SquidWario, what'd you all in all, what'd you think of Microsoft's? And if you could give it a score at the end.
Ooh, we're doing
Well, of the entire like showcase, I would say I'd probably give it like maybe like 7 out of 10 stars, I guess, out of the entire thing, because like it looks good. All the games look good, and like the new designs are very impressive, as I said earlier. And I really think like some of the games that were announced look like really exciting, and looks like a lot of gamers are probably going to look forward to most of the games. So that's why I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 stars.
Oh.
All right. Slash.
Yeah, overall I think it was very solid. I would give it like a 8.5 out of 10 because I feel like there's something in here for everyone. There's definitely a lot of incentive now to get an Xbox or to at least get Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they really made a really well put together presentation on what's to come for their future. And yeah, I think 8 out of 10 is a fair rating for them.
Now for me, I'll say this wowed me. As someone who's been rather critical of Xbox, they've never given me much of a reason to buy their console. But like Game Pass alone, like I'm a huge supporter of physical media, and Game Pass would just be like giving physical media the giant middle finger. But even I like can't look at Game Pass and say no, to be honest. If you know what I mean. So like this is giving me a reason to buy an Xbox, and they actually announced a lot of exclusives. The big one I'm looking forward to is Psychonauts, which isn't an exclusive. It's coming to PS4, so that ain't gonna make me buy an Xbox. But still, you have Halo, which looks really good now. Starfield, which that looks good. And you even have games like Back 4 Blood being a day one Game Pass game, which that's a big get. That is a big get. And other games like Stalker 2, that looks interesting. For what they showed for Battlefield 2042 looked interesting. What they showed for Far Cry looked interesting. I'll give this an 8, not an 8.5, because there are some games on there that I probably will forget about and not give much of a shit about. And there's also a lot of updates on games like Fall. There's actually a good portion of it that focused on Fallout 76, and it was like no one cares about this game. And then but it was definitely the best one so far, or is it? Because next we're going to Square Enix. That was Microsoft, and forgot to mention, it's always great to see Rareware crossing over with Disney.
Yeah, and also, this is not the first time that Rare is partnering with Disney, because technically, a long time ago, Rare helped Disney with Mickey's Speedway.
Oh right, yeah. You see, I only wanted to bring up Disney because Antsam's here, but so we're going on to Squares now. SquidWario, you saw Squares, right?
Yeah. not as good as the Xbox showcase,
yeah,
but
we'll
I
get into
did a bit of it.
that. Slash, you saw Squares, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's just get right into it. We kick off the show with a nice 30-minute. All right, so it dragged on for a bit, but 30-minute long showcase of Guardians of the Galaxy, which it looks promising. I don't know if I'm gonna rush out and pre-order this game. Because it could, like, you see what they did with Avengers. It wasn't very good. But that was a live service game. This wasn't a live service game. By the way, this isn't listed in the website I'm looking on, Digital Trends. It's not listed as in chronological order, but I'm going to try my best to remember everything in chronological order. Just want to say that. Anyways, Guardians of the Galaxy, it looks good. Like, visually it looks good. But, the character designs look weird. Peter Quill looks like fucking Jake Paul. If you've seen the trailer, you'll see the resemblance. But a lot of people are trashing on this game, and I don't think it deserves that. This game looks fun. Like, it has interesting looking gameplay. I just hope it's not a live service game. I want to be able to buy this game. It looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, it's made by the same people who did the Deus Ex games, which is cool. And the game will not. I actually didn't know about this. The game will not feature any post-launch content such as DLC, and is not a live service game. Okay, all right, good shit. You're making.
Loves to see it.
So Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be the game Avengers should have been. Slash, anything to say about Guardians of the Galaxy?
So yeah, it's a little early for that, but yeah, it definitely looks better. I don't know if it looks better, but it definitely has the potential to be better than Avengers based on some of the information that I have just received from Mr. Solo. And I feel like we should spend a lot of time on this, well, comparatively, because this is, like, what Square Enix is, like, this was their thing, basically.
Yeah, they spent 30 minutes on this, and it's also Marvel, which is Disney, and Antsam's in the call, so bada boom.
Gotta talk about it for at least now.
You said it's too early, but it's coming out in October.
It's too early for me to make like an opinion on it without seeing some other stuff, but it definitely looks like it's gonna be very hot.
Yeah, the characters, I'll agree a lot. I've heard this from a lot of people, and I will agree with them. The characters look weird. Like, Peter Quill looks like Jake Paul. Rocket Raccoon has like some weird ass fucking like goatee. Groot looks pretty cool. He looks buff. I don't know how you can make Groot look buff, but he does.
He's Groot.
Gamora looks weird. Like, she looks like she's going emo. Drax looks like a fucking idiot. But yeah, so the character designs are weird, but that's sort of what like a controversy with Avengers when that game was first revealed, especially Thor, and then through like the game's development they introduced a redesign for Thor, and he looked a lot cooler. But so maybe they'll do that. But the game visually looks great, and I'm excited to see to play it. Hopefully it's good. Because I might actually try this game. SquidWario, what are your thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy?
Looks good. I'd say that. As you said, like, the characters really do have good designs for the game.
I said they
hopefully,
didn't, but okay.
Like, he said the opposite.
Well, not good designs.
I mean, like the visuals, like the graphics, they look good, but the characters look fucking stupid. Yeah. Except for Groot.
I mean, that's what I mean. Like, the visuals, like the actual like graphics of the game look good, of course. Yeah. But like, I mean, they definitely could do a better job with like the character design itself. But overall, like, hopefully the game will have a decent success at least. But I don't know if it's going to be like the best game that they announced, really.
Yeah. I'm interested in it though. It comes out in October again, so very soon. And it's October 26th to be exact. For PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC. So, any final thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy? Slash, we'll start with you.
I think it looks very good in some regards, very questionable to say the least in others. But I feel like they should have learned from their mistakes. So I'm very confident that this game is going to be good. Still not 100% sure, like I said, but I feel like they should have learned from their mistakes that they made in with the Avengers thing. And
Yeah. Can I
I'm
correct you
looking
for a
forward
second?
to it.
Because no, I get what you say. What you mean by they should have learned from their mistakes, but those Crystal Dynamics that made Avengers, they're not making this game. Eidos Montreal is making this game.
No, I know. It's not like just in general. Like they
I
should
know.
have learned.
Square learned from their mistakes. I get it, but yeah.
Shut the fuck up, DPX. You know what you were doing.
No, I don't. But anyways, SquidWario. Any final thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy?
All I'm just gonna say is hopefully like the game gets at least some sort of decent success. But I don't know if it's gonna definitely be a top game, that's for sure.
All right.
If it's good, I feel like it will be popular just due to the nature of the Avengers being so. Well, not the Avengers, but like
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Marvel being so dominant,
popular. Yeah. The next game was I think this was the next game. It was kind of a little disappointing. It was Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster.
Wow.
So no. So like a lot of people have been asking for Final Fantasy the classics 1 through 6 to be re-released, brought back, remastered maybe. Not even like remastered or remade. Although that would be really cool if they were remade similar to like how Dragon Quest 3 is being remade to be more like Octopath Traveler, but not even that, just, brought back in some way so we can play them on modern console, and they're bringing them back to mobile devices.
Yay, mobile devices. Everyone loves mobile devices.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All really good games, or most of them actually. Final Fantasy 2 sucks. Final Fantasy 3 sucks. Final Fantasy 5, I don't know. I don't think I've played that one. Final Fantasy 5 I think is all right, but actually I don't think I played 3. I think 2 I know sucks though. But it's why did they announce some mobile stuff in here? This isn't it. But yeah, Slash, what did you think of these remasters coming to? I should also mention they're coming to Steam, but it's probably the mobile versions on Steam. So what did you think of these Final Fantasy games?
It's like I don't have a problem with it if you're going to also, release better, fuller quality games and remasters of the stuff. But if the only option is mobile, it's like, what the fuck? People will definitely buy, there's no way people won't buy this remaster, and you can make a lot of money off of this. It's overall very profitable for you to do this, and everyone wants it, and for some reason they just were like, no, you know what, we're gonna do mobile. So honestly, very disappointing.
Yeah, it seems like there's some weird disconnect when you explained it like that. It sounds like there's a disconnect, and that's what I think.
Yeah, definitely.
SquidWario, what'd you think of the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters?
I'd say it was all right. Honestly, like seeing it coming to mobile device, like, kind of interests me. But like overall, like I'm sure it'll be good, especially for like the old people, for like gamers who love things old school. Like that's cool for them. They get to like experience playing like those classic games again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just that's not the only time they're gonna have mobile stuff in here though, which is annoying. But and the next part, they spent an awful amount of time on Marvel's Avengers, which it's just like Fallout 76 in Microsoft's presentation, but at least that was like surrounded by a bunch of other good announcements. They spent so much time on Marvel's Avengers. It's like, who cares about this game right now? Who cares? Honestly, like, it's like, I don't get it. I don't like. Obviously, it feels wrong to disrespect Black Panther because like Chadwick Boseman and everything. But like, I'm not disrespecting Black Panther. The guy I say that because there's like it was mainly a new like expansion for like a Black Panther expansion. It's like, who cares though, really? No one's playing. Nobody's playing Avengers. A new Black Panther game would be pretty cool. If this was a new Black Panther game, I just thought of that. That would be a really cool idea, Black Panther game. But nah. Slash, anything about what they showed for Avengers?
Yeah, like pretty much like you said, I'm not an Avengers fan when it comes to this video game. I thought they didn't know what they were doing with the game.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just continuing to try to fix it and shove it down people's throats, and I don't honestly understand why. And I feel like that disconnect that we were talking about previously is really just on display here.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I feel like the DLC itself isn't going to be bad, but I feel like there's no point in doing it, if that makes sense.
Like, the only news for Avengers that's been dropping, aside from new DLC or whatever, the only other news that's been dropping is how much the player base has been dropping. So, like...
just make a Black Panther game, honestly. I'll buy that. That would be awesome.
That would be cool, yeah. Unless it's a live service game, but... yeah. SquidWario, thoughts on the Black Panther or the Marvel's Avengers DLC?
So I think it's cool how they're bringing back Black Panther and the Avengers into another video game. So hopefully, like, a lot of people will get into that and really enjoy it.
Alright, well, so you got some wishful thinking there, I guess, but
yeah.
Anyways, next, I think this was next. It's different when this website I'm looking at doesn't list them in order, but I'm thinking this is next. They're literally like, let's look at some mobile games coming. It's like,
yay.
Why? And one of the games they showed, the only game I remember them showing actually was Final Fantasy VII, like the First Soldier. I think it's like, I kid you not. I don't know if you guys knew about this. If you watched the event, you would have seen it, but maybe you ignored it, and I don't blame you. But it's a Final Fantasy VII Battle Royale on your phone. So, like, yeah, it's like, why is this here? I'm not even asking what you thought of it, because they just showed like some mobile games, like, hey, these are coming. I remember a few people, like, if you're asking me why I'm knocking Square for having mobile games this year, but a few years ago when they had mobile games, I didn't knock them for that. It was because, well, they had like one mobile game, a mobile game that I think was actually pretty good. It was like Final Fantasy Brave Exvius or something. That I actually kind of liked that game, but it shouldn't be at a E3 event. But it was surrounded by a bunch of good announcements. This though, like, it's a bunch of good announcements surrounded by mobile and Marvel's Avengers. So yeah, the next game shown was Babylon's Fall. Now, I was interested in this game. They announced it back at Square's, I think it was their E3 2018 press conference, so a while ago. Yeah, it's developed by Platinum Games, who are really good. They have a good track record. And the gameplay looks good. It's like a Nier-esque action game. Nier is really good. That's another game by Square Enix, developed by Platinum. I just realized. And we got one problem though. As I was looking at the dialogue from the developers, they were speaking Japanese, so I had like subtitles. I couldn't hear what they were saying. I was reading them, and one of them said, "This is a live service game, everybody." So, my favorite. I'm not gonna care about this game then. Like, it's like, why you make this a live service game? This game looks really good otherwise. Why? Anyways, yeah, that's my thoughts on Babylon's Fall. Slash, any thoughts on Babylon's Fall?
I thought the game looked very good as well, and I'm not as familiar with how bad games as a service or whatever live service thing is, but the game looks very good and very interesting, but I'm gonna have to look more into this kind of thing because I am not very what's the word, experienced on it, but yeah, hopefully it will be the first good one.
Well, I don't want to. Let me make something really clear. I'm not saying live service games are always bad, and there are good ones out there. What I'm saying is I don't like the idea of charging you $60 for a game that they're purposely releasing not as good, and they'll make it better over time. That I don't like it. If they charge you like, I don't know, not fucking 60. Hell, this game might even be 70 because I think it's next gen. Don't charge you $70, then I wouldn't dislike live service games so much.
I'll buy the full game in like 2 years from now, and I'll tell you guys how it is.
Yeah, they want you to keep playing. They don't want you to like, I don't know. SquidWario, what'd you think of Babylon's Fall?
I think it was kind of interesting. Like, I wouldn't say this was really that good of a game in my opinion, but hopefully, like, it does end up finding gamers that really like the game. So, but overall, best of luck to that game.
All right. The next one is something I didn't really care too much about, so that being said, there's a lot of time dedicated to it, but it has its audience. So that is Life is Strange. We got a trailer for Life is Strange Remastered. Did I seriously just say remastered? A Life is Strange Remastered collection. It's Life is Strange 1 and 2, and some other game, I think. I don't know. Like another Life. I don't know the Life is Strange games, and they're remastered and coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X, and that's cool and all. And then they showed Life is Strange True Colors, and I mean, it looks fine. I don't care really. I really don't care. But if this is your kind of thing, more power to you. Slash, what do you think about Life is Strange?
I think a lot of people are eagerly anticipating this one. Those people do not include me, but yeah, hopefully the people who have been waiting for this and who are in this audience are very excited, and I'm happy that this is coming out for you guys, so make sure to like get it and stuff. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good, but not really my thing. I'm not an RPG kind of guy.
Yeah. This is an RPG though. It's like an interactive movie.
BTX Solo.
No, like it's not an RPG.
No, I know. I just wanted to say RPG.
Okay. Sure. SquidWario. What do you have to say about Life is Strange?
I'd say it was interesting. I mean, Life is Strange really does go deep with the plots usually. So I mean, I hope it really does have a good story.
I'm a gamer.
Your audio fucked out for a second, Squid. Say it
Oh.
again.
So Life is Strange has like a really intense plot throughout its game. So I really hope like that this game gets a story, like a good storyline that like the gamers will enjoy.
All right. Now moving on to the final announcement. I think this might have been the best announcement um, of the whole event. And it was apparently rumored before the event, but I had no idea about this. So this kind of caught me by surprise. That is Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. Now, if you don't know, this is basically a remake, or maybe not a remake, but a retelling, I guess, of the first Final Fantasy game, and it is developed by Team Ninja, and in collaboration with Koei Tecmo. If you don't know, they make the Warriors games and also Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive. And it's going to be a Souls-like game. So it's going to be similar to Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Sekiro. And it's going to be a hack and slash game, which those Souls-like games are not hack and slash games. So this is like a good mix of a bunch of stuff. It's a Final Fantasy hack and slash Souls-like game developed by Team Ninja and in collaboration with Koei Tecmo. That's a lot of fucking shit. But this looks... They didn't show any gameplay, but actually they did show some gameplay, but it wasn't like... No, they did show gameplay. Never mind. They showed gameplay, and it looks good. I did not expect this. This caught me by surprise, but apparently it was rumored, so I guess I'm an idiot, but
Okay,
yeah, no, this was definitely the best. Like, they showed way more of Guardians of the Galaxy, and that looked good, but no, like, they barely showed this game, and I think this one was the best announcement, the best thing that was there. Yeah, I'm excited. It's coming sometime in 2022, and it's getting a demo on the PS5 soon.
Yeah.
No time, no date announced, but soon. And those of you who want to play it but don't have a PS5, it's also coming on PS4. So yeah. Slash, what do you think of Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin?
I think it's a very interesting mix of different like things together. It's definitely something you wouldn't expect to see, unless of course you like looked for what was rumored and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I don't even think this is an RPG either. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, but definitely a very interesting concept. A very a lot of different things going into this game. Hopefully the combination works well. You know, sometimes when you combine a bunch of things that you like together, it doesn't really work well, but I don't think that will be a problem for this game.
Yeah. Yeah, like when they showed this, I was confused. Like they were like they showed these characters and they looked like Final Fantasy characters. Like they had like the swords and they looked like swords that come straight from Final Fantasy, but like the atmosphere and everything else about the game, and then they showed Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo, and I'm like, this isn't Final Fantasy. And the music sounded like new rendition of a Final Fantasy song. Don't know specifically, but it just sounded like something from Final Fantasy. I'm like, is this Final Fantasy? And it was Stranger in Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. As you can tell, this was exciting, mostly because this was one of two good announcements in this entire presentation. The first one went on for a little too long, so the best announcement. SquidWario, what'd you think of Stranger in Paradise Final Fantasy Origin?
I think it was interesting how we're getting yet another Final Fantasy title. So hopefully that's something Final Fantasy fans really get into, and best of luck to that game.
All right. So yeah, that was Square Enix's press conference. We didn't get anything on Final Fantasy 16. We did not get any sort of update on Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. We didn't get anything on, let's see, what else is there? Like, they have a lot of, like, fantastic franchises that they didn't have here at all. In fact, like, their only, like, big franchise they had here was Final Fantasy with Final Fantasy Stranger in Paradise. They had Life is Strange, but that's not one of their big franchises. They had, and then they had the Marvel games. They had Marvel's Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, but that's just because they had the Marvel license. They had Babylon's Fall. That's a new IP. So this wasn't a good presentation. It started good with Guardians of the Galaxy, but then it sort of dragged. Like, they were on, I'm not even kidding, they were on Guardians of the Galaxy for like 30 minutes. Come on. Like,
Yeah.
And it ended well, though, with Stranger in Paradise. But in between, it was just a bunch of mobile games and a bunch of Avengers stuff that no one cares about. And then Babylon's Fall looked interesting, but it was just ruined by the fact that it's a live service game. It's just odd. It's just uninteresting to me now. Life is Strange wasn't a bad segment, but I don't care too much, really. So it's not for me. I'm sure it's for other people, though. So if that's your thing, I'm sure this was actually good. But yeah, that I'll give Square Enix. I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Is that lower than what I gave Ubisoft? You remember what I gave Ubisoft? I don't remember. It was like I think I gave Ubisoft like a 5.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah, no, this was worse, because like
Definitely.
Ubisoft had. I can tell you, Ubisoft had Avatar, Mario and Rabbids, and Rainbow Six Extraction looked interesting. This one had Final Fantasy, Stranger in Paradise, and Guardians of the Galaxy, which dragged on and looks a bit like iffy, but mostly good. And then the rest, like, there's mostly mobile stuff in here. Ubisoft didn't have any mobile stuff, that's for sure. SquidWario, what do you final thoughts on Square Enix's press conference?
As I said in the beginning, as we started discussing this, I'd say that this wasn't as good as the Xbox showcase. Definitely not better, but I would say I would give this. If I had to rank this out of 10 stars, I would probably do like 4 or 5 stars, honestly.
Slash, how about you?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely somewhere around there. Probably either 3.5 maybe.
Okay,
Yeah,
what do you think of the event as a whole, though? It's not just about the score.
I thought it was pretty solid. Well, parts of it were solid.
Yeah.
And then other parts of it weren't.
I was about to say, did we watch the same presentation?
DTX Solo. I don't think we did. But yeah, I thought parts of it were very, very good, and then other parts of it were very bad. And the problem with having not the most amount of things is that when half of them are good and half of them are bad, and one of them drags on for like half an hour, it's like not very entertaining to watch. You know?
Yeah. See, I find it kind of strange how we had 2 press conferences today. One was an hour and a half long. The other was 45 minutes. The one that was 45 minutes managed to drag on more. Don't know how that happened, but it did. So that was our discussion on Microsoft and Ubisoft. What? I'm tired, guys. That was our discussion on Microsoft and Square's press conference. We'll be back tomorrow for us, but for you 2 seconds, where we talk about Take-Two Interactive. Don't know what the fuck they can have, and Capcom. Maybe we'll talk about Back 4 Blood for a little bit, since there's a press conference for that game going on today. So yeah, see you in 2 seconds, guys. So we're back, everybody. Today was Take-Two Interactive and Capcom. There's some other stuff like limited run games which I didn't watch, and there's also Razer, which I didn't watch, and Verizon, which I didn't watch. Verizon had a fucking press conference, but
I thought they 5G.
yeah, we said we were gonna talk about Take-Two Interactives, but no, we're not. They had nothing. They had literally nothing. Like it was just one big old round table. Yeah, 1 out of 10. But then we got Capcom. I was excited to see what Capcom had, just because they got a lot of cool IPs. They don't usually have a E3 press conference, but this year they are, and I thought it would be pretty good. I had my low expectations just because E3 so far has not been too great. Ubisoft, Gearbox, Square Enix, Microsoft was good. That was it. So, we start off with Resident Evil Village, to talk about, how well the game has been doing, and, they also, announced that REverse, the multiplayer that came with, Resident Evil Village, will be, starting next month, which is cool. I installed it because it came with, the Resident Evil Village. So I have it installed, but I can't play it because the servers aren't up. And then it was announced that DLC will be coming to Resident Evil Village. I don't know what they can do for DLC for that game, but yeah. Slash, what do you think about Resident Evil Village and REverse coming out next month? Resident Evil Village getting DLC. What do you think?
Well, obviously, Resident Evil Village is a very successful game overall, and it kind of makes sense to a degree why they would do DLC. Obvious reasons, and also like the fans. I'm sure everyone is like very excited to see this, and everyone's like, "Yay, more content for this game," which is an overall very solid game. So. You love to see it, if I'm being quite honest. You love to see it. And, the Ari's thing looks pretty cool as well. Something new.
As someone who played Resident Evil Village, I don't really think the game needs DLC. I think it's good where it is, but if they added, a DLC, chapter or whatever, could be interesting. But, yeah.
That's probably what they'll do, yeah.
Although it's not, divided by chapters, but whatever. Then the next game they showed Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin, and didn't really know much about this game just because it doesn't feel like Capcom have been promoting this game too much. They showed that. They gave it a new trailer. It looks cool. I like the art style. I don't know if it's a game I'll play. But then they showed that they'll be updating Monster Hunter Rise. Great game, by the way. They showed they'll be upgrading Monster Hunter Rise, and then there'll be some crossover between Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories, having some characters or whatever appear in both games through a update or whatever.
That's cool.
So yeah, but not much else there. Slash, what do you think?
I think it's cool. It's not in terms of the not like that much has been set in stone, I guess. But it's cool to know that there's some stuff coming down the pipeline, and hopefully we get to see more of this new title.
All right. So we had that, and we also got moving on to the next game was the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. A surprise announcement a few weeks or months ago, whatever. That they're bringing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles to North America. So, very interesting. It's a prequel to the Ace Attorney games, which I haven't played too many. I think I played one of them, and it was actually pretty cool. I haven't played too many of them, and I don't have much of a desire to really play this game, although it looks like fun. And there was a long cutscene they showed, which was pretty cool. But yeah, not too much. Slash, what'd you think?
Like you said, not really my style of game. I feel like I've said that at least today. But yeah, not really my type of game, but I know that it's a thing for a lot of people, and that the games generally are I believe pretty well received. So it's cool to see that it's coming to the NA. You know.
Yeah. And then this is where it starts to get really disappointing. We then get to take a look at Capcom Fighters. Not like, Street Fighter, like not a new Street Fighter game, not a new Marvel vs. Capcom game. Capcom Fighters as in like esports. And look, esports is cool and all. It shouldn't be here. It shouldn't be at E3. And that was the rest of the conference. We got nothing new. I came in with low expectations. I came in not expecting a whole lot because Ubisoft disappointed, Gearbox disappointed, Square disappointed. As I said earlier, Microsoft was good, but 1 out of 4, and now 1 out of 5. So, so it wasn't. But like, I was expecting them to announce something. Square Enix at least announced something new. Ubisoft announced something new. Capcom didn't. They had nothing to show. Like, you could have slipped in the Monster Hunter stuff in Nintendo's tomorrow. You could have slipped in Ace Attorney in Nintendo's tomorrow. I'm not quite sure where you could have slipped in Resident Evil. Maybe is that the whole reason that they had a press conference for Resident Evil? Was it esports? They didn't need to have this. It disappointed me. Like, I know it was wishful thinking. This is kind of setting my expectations a little too high to expect Mega Man, to expect Street Fighter 6. But like something, they could have given us something. They gave us like nothing. Like, what they showed was good, but like they didn't give us anything new. So Slash, what did you think of the fact that there's nothing new? So what did you think of what wasn't there? I guess.
Yeah, not really. I mean, what they showed wasn't the.
And we're back. Sorry about that. Slash had a little technical error. It's all right.
My Fortnite crashed.
Yeah. So what were you saying, Slash?
Yeah. What they showed was pretty cool. There were some things that I was like, "Oh, this is cool. I'm happy they're doing this." But I felt like there wasn't enough like things to warrant a press conference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's pretty much my overall feeling on it.
If you were to give it a score, what would you give it?
I went first like every time. I think it's your turn to go.
I give it 2 out of 10.
I was gonna say a 2.5. So great minds think alike, or pretty close to being alike.
Yeah. They announced nothing new. They didn't need to have this. They really didn't. That's the main thing here. They didn't need to have this.
I feel like this is a reoccurring theme.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I guess Square Enix, they usually have one. Ubisoft, they usually have one. Gearbox, yeah, they didn't need to have one. But, like, Capcom, like, it's different, though, from Gearbox's, though. Because Gearbox, like, there wasn't a whole lot they could have had there. Because, so in that sense, they didn't need to have a press conference. Capcom, though, there's a lot they could have. I'm sure there's a lot they're working on, too, that they just didn't announce. Like, they could have revealed something. I feel like they could have revealed something, and they didn't. So, yeah, that's final thoughts all in all on Capcom. Anything else you want to say, Slash?
Yeah, overall was pretty much a letdown. Not really in the fact that what they showed was bad, but what wasn't really there was just underwhelming. And especially, I feel like, from Capcom, where you don't normally have a press conference, and then you choose to have one and show nothing. It really is like it's like, oh, maybe they're going to show something cool because they don't normally have one, so they have a lot of stuff to show, and nope. They just show esports, That's...
And there's
that's my takeaway.
The stuff they're saying about esports seems cool. I don't want to knock esports, but it shouldn't be here.
It's definitely cool.
It shouldn't be here.
Interesting.
So, that was our discussion on Capcom. Didn't last too long, because, I mean, what is there to talk about, really? So yeah, that was our discussion on Capcom. We'll be back. For us, it'll be tomorrow. For you, it'll be 2 seconds when we talk about Nintendo's and Bandai Namco. I could already imagine Nintendo's being a pretty long discussion. Bandai Namco, we'll see.
I bet they'll put Duck Hunt in Smash.
Yeah. Alright, see you in like 2 seconds, guys. And we are back, everybody. Today is the final part of this discussion. We'll be talking about Nintendo's presentation and also Namco's presentation. And we'll talk about Namco's right now because while it was after Nintendo's, Namco had one game. I don't even remember what the game was. Like 1.5 out of 10, 2 out of 10 maybe. I mean, the game, the cutscenes looked cool and all, but I'm not even gonna ask you guys what you thought of it, just because I don't think you saw it and you didn't miss much. Anyways, Nintendo. So yeah, and also Ramkit's here now, but yeah, he just popped in while we were paused. But yeah, we were paused because I wanted to pull up the direct so we can look at all the announcements. So our first announcement was we got right into it. New Smash character Kazuya from Tekken. Interesting choice, I gotta say. I wasn't expecting this. I mean, I was saying for a while, Bandai Namco only has one character in Smash, and that's Pac-Man. And not only did they work on Smash with Nintendo, so they deserve another rep. They have a shit ton of reps they could pull from, and Kazuya was one of them. I wasn't thinking Kazuya though. Like, even though Heihachi is a Mii costume, like I thought Jin would have been next on the list, but not Kazuya. And he looks sick. The gameplay looked weird. Like it looked like a Tekken game. Like the game, this looked like a It didn't look like Smash. I mean, when it went to like other stages, it looked like Smash because. But I mean, like, specifically when it was on like the Tekken stage, and specifically when Kazuya was fighting like Ryu, Ken, and Terry, like it looked like a Tekken game. It looked like a 2D Tekken game, as opposed to a new Smash character. So really exciting. We're getting a Sakurai Presents for Kazuya in 2 weeks on Monday, the 28th of June. So I'm looking forward to that, and he'll probably drop that same day too, because that's what they do a lot when they don't have it. Like, I want to get your thoughts on it. Ramkit, since you're right next to me here, what did you think about Kazuya in Smash?
I think, I mean, I was surprised too. I really had no idea who they would pick for the next character, but I like whenever all the fighting characters, because I feel like the movesets and combos are a little bit more dynamic and complicated than just normal characters. So I don't know. He looks very interesting, and his reveal trailer was funny with the little Kirby ending at the end. So hopefully we'll see more about him later on. But I'm excited.
Yeah. By the way, before I ask SquidWario and Slash what they thought, all these Smash Ultimate trailers, someone dies. In this one, it's got a kill count of 5. Kazuya killed Ganondorf, he killed Falcon, he killed Pit, he killed Min Min, he killed Marth. I mean, I agree with killing Min Min, she can go die, but, like, the others, like, damn. And Min Min, I guess. But, SquidWario, what'd you think of Kazuya in Smash?
Definitely not a character I would have expected. But, I mean, I will say, like, with the trailer, like, when I saw the trailer and how, like, Ganondorf was being thrown into, like, the pit of lava in the beginning, I honestly thought to myself, oh, this has got to be the new Smash character, or this has got to be, like, the Breath of the Wild 2 footage or something.
Yeah. I was thinking it was going to be Breath of the Wild 2, but then I realized, wait, that's Ocarina Ganon. Is this Smash? Yeah. It never, for some reason, it should have, but it never occurred to me that it was, like, I never thought it was going to be a Zelda character. They probably should have got me like that, though. Like, I should have fell for that. I don't know why I didn't.
Yeah.
Sorry, I kind of cut you off there.
All right. But yeah, so like honestly, as I said, this is definitely not a character I would have expected for Smash. I still had my hopes up for Crash Bandicoot, but still, like
We got one more shot left. Sorry.
But yeah, and we do have one more space left for a new character, which is the good news. But like this character, like I think it's kind of good that he's in Smash because like really the only character, like the only playable Namco character in Smash is Pac-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of good that they're having another character fill in the gap for Namco.
Yeah. And by the way, they showed off his moveset and gave him the one thing that grabbed my attention was the 10-hit combo. Like that's just gonna be a move, a 10-hit combo. So interested to see how that works. Slash, what do you think of Kazuya in Smash?
Oh, I think it was a very interesting pick for the last fighter. I mean, obviously, just because you're not expecting someone, that doesn't mean that they're necessarily a good fit. But I think in this case, it's a very good pick, and probably not the most hype pick that they could have gone with.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's a solid pick and someone who a lot of people are happy to see in Smash. Tekken, not the most popular fighting game, not unpopular, not like in terms of reviews, but a very like I'm sure a lot of people are very happy to see representation from Tekken.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. I'm excited to play Kazuya, and I purposely made it so that it doesn't coincide with anything I have going on my channel. Thank God. Because, like, at this point, if that happens, that's my own fault. As you may know, I always bring this up, how a Smash character's release always coincides with something that I have going on. But, good thing it's not. I don't even have to worry about that. Anyways, moving on to the next, next announcement, I just froze for a second, was Life is Strange coming to Switch. Life is Strange Remastered Collection and Life is Strange True Colors. We talked about this on a few, like, I mean, for you it was like an hour or two ago, but for us it was like a few days ago, and we talked about Square's event. And we talked about Life is Strange, was saying, like, not really my thing. I doubt it was any of your things. But, like, I'm sure the people that liked Life is Strange got what they came here for. And, yeah, anything to say about Life is Strange RAM kit?
No,
Okay.
not really. It's cool to see more like big games come to the Switch, but I don't know. Good for people. Whoever enjoys Life is Strange, I hope you're very happy.
Yeah. SquidWario?
I'm not really into the Life is Strange franchise, so I mean, either way, I'm happy for that franchise and for all the fans who probably been wanting it for Switch. But yeah, I mean, it looks nice. The trailer, like everything looks nice. But either way, like this is something like I'm definitely not gonna get into.
Yeah.
Not really into this franchise. But good luck to that game.
And Slash, anything to say about Life is Strange?
It's definitely good to see the variety continuing to expand with the library of the Switch, and shout out to all of you Life is Strange players out there. I'm just kidding, but just shout out to all of you
Life
guys.
is Strange community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life
Shout out
competitive
to
Life
you.
is Strange players.
I'm a competitive Life is Strange player.
Yeah.
I have the strangest life.
Alright, next game was an interesting game. Is another thing that we talked about during Square's event, and that was Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm of the opinion that this game actually looks really good. A lot of people weren't impressed with it, but it's coming to Switch. I think alongside all the other versions. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why it wasn't announced with them. This wasn't specified in the Direct for some weird reason, but this is a cloud version, meaning like you need like an internet connection to play it. So it's like gonna be sort of a watered down version of the game, similar to like Assassin's Creed, I think Odyssey, and I think it was Control had this sort of release, and so did Hitman 3. So yeah, whatchamacallit, Guardians of the Galaxy is gonna have that sort of release. At least it's coming to the Switch, but like, it's, you sort of have to put an asterisk next to it when it has like this sort of like cloud version. Ramke, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I know it was announced before, and in terms of the game itself, I hope it's better than the Avengers, because I know that was a bit mediocre in many people's minds. But I don't know, the cloud version, I guess they released it earlier, which is good, but I don't know, we'll see. I just hope it turns out well. I wasn't super enthralled by it, but we'll see what happens.
All right, SquidWario, what do you think of Guardians of the Galaxy cloud version?
Looks good. I mean, the designs look good. Hopefully it'll be a good game. I know we were kind of talking about it before, but hopefully, like, the game has a decent amount of success.
Mm-hmm. And Slash, what do you think?
I'm not sure if I'll get this version of the game or if I'll just get the PlayStation version whenever I can. But yeah, I don't know. It's a little disappointing. It's a cloud game, but I understand, I guess, to a degree why.
Yeah.
Because, you know. Yeah, but hopefully it's not like too watered down, and hopefully the game is still very good.
Yeah, and then our next game was Worms Rumble. I don't really have much to say about it. The Worms games are cool. Kind of didn't really think. Not quite sure how they're still around necessarily. They're not really anything of worth a note. I sound harsh. I sound fucking harsh, but like no, Worms Rumble. I guess it's fine. I don't really know what to say. Really, looks cool. Ramkit, anything to say about Worms Rumble?
Worms franchise is the greatest media franchise of all time, so I'm very excited for the next entry.
All right, SquidWario.
Seems like a cool game, honestly. Not much to say about this, but like I think it looks pretty cool, and maybe it'll be like a good game for gamers to play.
Mm-hmm. And Slash, what do you think?
I don't know. Like, you know, I'm not a Worms guy, but I have been a Worms guy in the past. You know, I'm not a hardcore Worms guy, but I'm a Worms guy. Like, I know some good Worms when I see them.
Okay.
And this looks like it's some good Worms.
All right, so moving on. Before we get to the next game, I forgot to mention this. Now we sort of get into like some little highlight reel of just smaller announcements, and I was afraid that this was gonna kind of go sideways because usually they put these at the end. So I was like, why are they putting this at the beginning? But don't worry, it picks up. So the next game is Astria Ascending. It looks cool. I like the art style. Don't have too much to say about it though. Ramkit, anything to say about Astria Ascending?
Not really, to be completely honest.
All right.
Yeah.
SquidWario.
I mean, again, like, looks good. Hopefully it'll be a good game that gamers will enjoy, but
Gamer.
like, I don't know what else to really say for this one.
All right, and Slash, what do you think? Anything?
Yeah, I think it looks okay. And I'm just overall meh about it. It's not bad by any means, but I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, and then the next game is 2 Point Campus. Again, it's another game that's sort of like, well, what do you have to? This is why it's in a little reel, you know. These are why these games are in a little reel, because like there's not really much to say about them. So anything to say about 2 Point Campus?
Like 2 Point Campus, actually, it looked pretty cool. Like I think this game actually does seem a bit cool, in my opinion. So maybe this will be like a successful game, hopefully.
All right. Anything else from
Yeah, I
anyone?
mean, I, I actually, the Wingstop is almost here, so I'm gonna go eat. But
All right, you got Wingstop.
Wingstop, I did.
Shit. All
I will
right.
be back if you're still going after to
Yeah.
talk about
Hopefully.
other stuff.
I
So,
want to hear your thoughts on Breath of the Wild too. So hopefully we'll
yeah.
get to that.
Just ask him now.
Yeah. What are your, in case you're not here for
Just
that,
ask him now real quick, no?
brief thoughts on Breath of the Wild 2?
It looks like Skyward Sword. I pray that it's very good. I hope they have normal Ganon, like villain human Ganondorf, and it looks like a very fun game. I pray that it is good. That's about all.
All right. See ya. Hopefully later,
Yes.
Ramkit.
I will be back, hopefully.
Yeah.
See ya.
All right. Our next game was a remastered collection of Super Monkey Ball, which I kind of wasn't expecting. But I remember GameXplain made like a video saying like Super Monkey Ball was leaked. It's called Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. Very interesting. Super Monkey Ball, they're pretty cool games. Not too much to them necessarily. You just control a monkey and a ball, hence the name, and you collect bananas and shit. That's the game, and it's fun. So we're getting these 3 games remastered and re-released, which is cool, and it's coming out on October 5th. You may have noticed September and October are going to be stacked. So, Wario, what do you think of Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania?
I mean, it looks nice. Super Monkey Ball actually does seem like a cool franchise. I know this is like one of like Sega's newer franchises though, since it's debuted in the 2000s. Honestly, like I think this will be a good game, and for like new gamers to the franchise and like the original and like the old gamers from like the older games of the franchise. So I would say this game probably will have a decent amount of success.
All right, Slash, what do you think of Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania?
I never played Super Monkey Ball. I've watched some speedruns of it though. It looks pretty cool, and now I'm glad they're making it I guess more accessible to the masses, and hopefully we see a spike in popularity, because despite not owning it, I like the monkeys, and I like their obstacle course
I
and
was gonna
stuff.
say their balls.
Yeah, I'm not stupid. That would have been.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next game is kind of an unexpected yet kind of expected. I don't know how to really say how expected this announcement was, but is Mario Party Superstars. Now I say expected because I feel like sometime sooner rather than later it was reasonable to expect Super Mario Party 2. Like, a lot of people said that was just bullshit. But I thought, like, I feel like you try again. Super Mario Party 2, you had a good idea with Super Mario Party. You didn't stay in a fucking car for the, like, board games. And Mario Party was back to its roots. The mini games and stuff like that were, like, the content, I feel, was obviously definitely not worth it. That's what needed work. This one is not Super Mario Party 2, but it's Mario Party Superstars, and it's like basically Mario Party the Top 100, and it is basically a big old minigame collection of everyone's favorite minigames. But the problem with Mario Party Top 100 is that a lot of the minigames on there were just not like the mini games people liked. Like, it's the top 100 best mini games of Mario Party, but a lot of the worst mini games are on there. This one though, it got some good mini games on there, which was cool. I don't know about this though. It is having online play, that's good. It's launching with online play. But I don't know, like, if this game is bad, if this game like disappoints, then Mario Party it's kind of in trouble, because Super Mario Party, I feel like, was like one step forward, like 2 steps back, I feel. So, SquidWario, what did you think of Mario Party Superstars? You had some interesting words to say about it before we started recording, so I'll just share them here now.
Yeah, so first off, I was not expecting another Mario Party title yet for Nintendo Switch. But this kind of came to me in shock, and like I'm kind of excited, but I feel like this like version of Mario Party is not necessary because it's basically like a Nintendo Switch remake to Top 100.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it's a remake. It's the same idea as Top 100, but it's not like it's the same idea. They're taking different mini games though. Hopefully, they're taking the right mini games, not the shit ones.
And I think it's good how it's going to be released with online play because, like, I think it's a little bad how, like, Super Mario Party was released in 2018 and it took them, like, a few years to add online play.
It took them 3 years. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's kind of pathetic, but at least it kind of does get gamers back into Super Mario Party a little more now.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully this, like, Mario Party Superstars game, hopefully it will be a good game, and I look forward to it, definitely.
Yeah. I might play it. The only reason why I might not is because, well, as I said, October is getting a bit stacked, so will I have time to play this game? I don't know. But Slash, what do you think of Mario Party Superstars?
Hopefully they can do the concept a lot better than they have in the past. By in the past, I mean, last attempt at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a little while since we've had like a top-notch Mario Party game, so hopefully we get back to the good old classic, to the roots,
Mm-hmm. All right. The next game. Before we get to the next game, we get a little status update on Metroid Prime 4. We don't see a trailer or anything, but the game's been going through some shit. It had we already know it's got a rocky development, and they had to scrap the game already as it was being developed by Bandai Namco, and they had to redo the whole thing by Retro Studios, and there's a hair in my mouth, and SquidWario, and most people watching probably won't get that, but there actually was a hair in my mouth right there. So anyways, what was it? Right, Metroid Prime 4. We got a little status update. It's coming along. It's happening. We didn't get to see anything, which still, like, it's still not really, like, what's the word? It's not too assuring necessarily if we didn't see it, but at least we got it mentioned, which was, I think, the first time Nintendo mentioned it since that little status update when they announced that they scrapped development and restarted. Yeah, I guess I'll ask you guys about this. SquidWario, what do you think about the little status update we got on Metroid Prime 4, and what do you think of just how long it's taken for the game to be announced, to be shown or whatever?
Well, I'd say like it's kind of good how we do get a little update of Metroid Prime 4 because at least we know like Nintendo is definitely not giving up on the game. So that's a good sign right there.
All right. And Slash, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm happy to see that the game is moving better than it was. Hopefully we can get some actual gameplay soon, so we actually can see that the game is moving better, because right now we just have to take their word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but overall I've wanted to play this because I haven't played a Metroid Prime game yet, so yeah, I'm excited to try one.
All right. Now, whatever sort of disappointment of the lack of Metroid Prime 4 footage there was, I feel like was instantly undone because we got to see this next game, which I think might have been the highlight of E3. Like, if not at least the highlight of this whole thing, maybe aside from the Smash character, because you know me. But we got to see Metroid Dread. That game looks fucking sick, bro. Like, cause it just we got it's the official Metroid 5. You guys aren't sure about that. Like, it's the 5th 2D Metroid game. There's Metroid 2 on the Game Boy, and then there's Super Metroid, and then there's Metroid Fusion. This is Metroid 5, Metroid Dread, and that looks cool. Samus's design looks a bit weird. I get that, but other than that, like, it looks like a lot of fun. They're selling it for $60, which I'm not too sure about. We'll just have to wait and see if it's worth $60. I don't know how well a $60 Metroid game can, like 2D Metroid game, can go by today. But SquidWario, what do you think of Metroid Dread?
I think it looks cool. Like, I think it looks cool, like how it's like a 2D platform, like because like not many like of these like main franchises really get 2D platforms anymore. So I think it's cool how Nintendo does kind of revive that like style of gaming. And honestly, like I think this will be like a cool game. I am looking forward to it, and I might actually get the game when it's out.
Yeah, and it got two amiibos announced for it, which I think is I think that's exciting. Slash, what do you think of Metroid Dread?
Overall looks pretty good. Been a while, I guess. Well, not. I mean, it's been a little while since we've gotten a 2D Metroid game, and I'm
It's been since
excited.
Fusion on the Game Boy Advance. You're right. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while. Hopefully this game is good. It looks pretty good. And yeah, it's been a while, so hopefully they do a good job with their first one in like forever, basically.
Mm-hmm. One thing I realized, like, how many 2D platformers, like first-party games on the Nintendo Switch, are 2D platformers? Let's see. There's Yoshi's Crafted World, which isn't that isn't that like 2.5D or something?
Yeah, that's kind of like 2.5D because like technically there are like some 3D sections in the game.
Yeah, and then there's Kirby, which is 2D.
Yeah.
Aside from Kirby and maybe Yoshi, is there any 2D platformers on the Switch? And maybe aside from New Soup U. But
yeah, I was
that's
literally
a port. That's a port. That's a
Mario
port. So I don't know if that counts. Like, so damn. So
yeah. Oh no.
the Switch is the Nintendo console. Like, we're pulling out all stops. Not only is every single major Nintendo franchise getting a game, but every little, like, that we're even throwing in Luigi's Mansion, throwing in Pokemon Snap, and then of course Metroid Dread, and so yeah, the Nintendo Switch is the Nintendo console, I feel. Moving on, is another weird reel. We get to see Just Dance 2022. Cool.
I'm so excited.
Don't really care. Except for the fact that Slash said maybe we can do a Mad Lads. That would be a fun Mad Lads.
It would be.
Yeah. Then we see as a part of the reel, we get I have it coming up. Wait for it. Cruisin' Blast, which I've never heard of this game before, but apparently it's a very well loved game. And it's coming to Switch, so that's cool. I never heard of it before. Have either of you guys heard of it before?
Cruisin' Blast? I don't think so, actually.
Slash?
Of course, I know Bruise and Blast.
Alright, so you haven't. So yeah, we'll move on. Next game on this reel, and that is. Oh, okay, not part of the reel, but the next headline, I guess. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, rather, is coming to Switch.
Goku
I
Smash?
like
Goku Smash?
I like the third party support on the Nintendo Switch, definitely, and Kakarot is definitely like adding to that. You know, I understood why this game didn't come to Switch immediately because I think this might have been, I don't know, maybe. Actually, I don't know why. Like I remember Dragon Ball Fighters that was announced for like, PS4, Xbox One, but not Switch, and that was after the Switch had already come out, so it could have been on the Switch. And it was like, why isn't this on the Switch? Huh? This would be great on the Switch, and it is now on the Switch, and I think it did well on the Switch as well. And now this is on the Switch. I never played Kakarot. I haven't even heard like if it's good or not. Like I've heard like next to no buzz about this game, so maybe it's irrelevant. So maybe the Switch can help it. I don't know. That's just me though. Don't like use that when you guys talk about it. But SquidWario, what do you guys think of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot coming to the Switch?
I think it's cool. Like, I think it's cool how Dragon Ball Z is getting a new Switch game. So, I think it's kind of needed. So hopefully, like, this will be a great game for all the fans of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Slash, how about you?
I think I'm a pretty big fan of Dragon Ball. I haven't like watched all of the anime or whatever, but I think it's cool. And hopefully they knock this one out the park. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Alright, next up is, don't really know why this was here necessarily. I guess maybe, like, it's worth mentioning because it comes out in a week. But, Mario Golf Super Rush was here, and, again, I don't really know why it was here. I don't really think they showed anything new, necessarily. They did show some, they did show some, cool, golf courses. Like, one looked like New Donk City, and that looked like...
Yeah,
that looked cool. Surprising. That looked cool. Battle Golf seems fun. But I feel like, wasn't much to show here, and they didn't show much. I don't think it should have necessarily been here, but, SquidWario, anything you have to say about Mario Golf Super Rush? I've already pre-ordered the game, by the way. I'm getting it. But,
oh, cool.
Yeah, so...
yeah, I think Mario Golf Super Rush is actually going to be a good game. Like, I think it's cool how basically Nintendo is basically making golf at the next level, literally. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, honestly, like, the courses are cool. And, again, like, there's going to be, like, a variety of playable characters. So that, I think, is, like, a Mario Golf game I'm definitely, like, excited for. And, again, like, this is pretty much going to be golf at the next level.
Yeah. Slash, what do you think of Mario Golf Super Rush?
I think it looks pretty cool. I'm not a golf guy. I'd rather just play golf in real life, you know? Yeah, but I think it looks pretty cool.
Alright, the next game is a game that they showed at Capcom's thing yesterday, and, I even said they could have shown this game at Nintendo's, and they did. Capcom... What? Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin. And they actually showed gameplay for it. And the game comes out in a month. They're just showing gameplay now.
As you do.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll buy it. It looks like fun. It's like a more, I think, easily accessible Monster Hunter game. It looks cool. The main theme that they played, it stuck in my head. The main theme that they played during when they're showing this game is pretty nice. I don't want to say it slaps, but it's a nice little theme. But I'm just saying that because it's stuck in my head right now. But SquidWario, anything to say about Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin?
Looks good, definitely. Yeah, I think this new like Monster Hunter game is definitely exciting too. So I think it'll be a good game, and I'm sure it'll be successful. So best of luck to the new game.
Yep. And Slash, what'd you think of Monster Hunter Stories 2?
I'm pretty much actually just gonna reiterate what I said about like 15 minutes ago for you guys. Or I don't know if it was 15 minutes, but overall it
We've
looks
already been going for 35 on here, so it definitely wasn't 15.
yeah, or like an hour ago.
Sure, yeah.
But I think it looks pretty cool. I'm not really my type of game, but I think it looks sick. And shout out to all of you Monster Hunter fans. You know, shout
Yeah,
out.
if I will get this game or not, you see, I think they're dropping a demo. I'll try that out. See if I like it. So yeah,
See if EPS likes it.
this next game was also, I think, a highlight of the event for me, personally. Excuse me. Just because, WarioWare Get It Together was announced. And SquidWario, I can imagine you as, a Wario fanboy. You're probably super excited for this, right?
Yeah, hell yeah, let's go.
So yeah, and I don't have, despite me being excited for this, I don't have much to say about it. It's WarioWare. It's a collection of micro games. They're selling it for $50, but I feel like that was different just because Nintendo put out a survey being like, if we put out a WarioWare game for $50, would you buy it? Most people said yes, so they're putting out a WarioWare game for $50. So I can't complain that it's $50, kind of just because I guess we asked for it. So like, you get what you asked for, and it's a good thing. No, this game looks like fun. Again, I don't know if I'll play it, but not because it's $50 and it doesn't seem like fun, or it doesn't seem like it's worth $50. Because September seems to be a stacked month for game releases. That's, if any games on here, if I don't play them, that's why. Anyways, SquidWario, what do you think of WarioWare Get It Together?
I think it's cool. The last WarioWare title was Gold. I think it was called Gold Rush or something,
I
or
think it was just called WarioWare Gold.
or no, yeah,
3DS.
I'm thinking of something else. WarioWare Gold, yeah, in 2018 on 3DS. So yeah, it's been a few years since the last WarioWare title, and I guess like now is pretty much the time for Nintendo to make one for Switch. So, and like it's pretty much just like many of the other WarioWare titles, to be honest. But still, it looks really exciting.
All right. So yeah, I'm sure you're getting WarioWare because you're SquidWario, right?
Oh hell yeah, you know it.
Yeah, yo. And there's gonna be there's gonna be like multiplayer. I think it's 2 players though, not like more than one. Yo,
Yeah.
you and I, or even me and Slash, like should play it together, maybe on stream or something. That'll be fun.
That'd be a good
in
idea.
In a Mad Lads.
Exactly.
Since we're on the Miikcast right
together
now.
on that.
So yeah, Slash, what'd you think of WarioWare Get It Together?
Oh, I thought it was pretty cool. I've never I've never played a WarioWare game. I've heard pretty good things about them, or at least about some of them. But yeah, hopefully it looks cool. And like you said, this really does seem to be the console where Nintendo is just bringing out all the stops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another thing. The new WarioWare game. That's also because like, if you noticed, WarioWare ever since its debut, I think the Game Boy Advanced, it's gotten a new game every console. Like, I don't know if it got one on the GameCube, but I don't know which one. I don't know if the GameCube came out first or if it was. I think it was the GameCube. So before, I think that came out before the GBA. But then ever since the GBA, we got one on the Wii, the DS, the Wii U, 3DS, and now the Switch. So yeah, I feel like we were primed to get a WarioWare game. But yeah, moving on. The next game is, should have done this while earlier. When I moved to the next game. Oh, this is a big game. Maybe not for me. I don't know if I'm gonna play this, but this is a big game because it was announced before the Switch was even out, like that big like 2017 presentation when they revealed the price and the release date and all the launch titles for the Switch, this was announced then and it's still not out. Shin Megami Tensei 5. Finally, they're showing gameplay, and it comes out later this year, November. And, you know, Sega leaked it by accident as a November release, and it's a November game. Good old Sega would do that, right?
Good
Yeah,
old Sega.
the game looks, like, visually, it looks good. I feel like during the combat sections, it looked fine, but, like, there are segments where your main character is, like, running around some world, and it looked a little rough around the edges. Hope that was just me. I don't think anyone else said anything about that. So maybe it's just me, or if it is not just me, hopefully it gets like fixed by the time the game comes out in November. SquidWario, what do you think of Shin Megami Tensei 5?
I mean, I think it looks cool. I'm not really into like those Tokyo games, but I mean, like the game itself looks cool, looks fun from the trailer, so it might be worth a game for the Switch.
Yeah, I love how you just called it a Tokyo game. I don't know why.
Well, that's what like the franchise is called, isn't it? Like Tokyo something,
No,
right?
you're thinking of Tokyo Mirage Sessions, which was
okay.
also between Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem.
Oh.
This is Shin Megami Tensei.
Okay.
You're fine.
Yeah, no,
Happens to the
you're
best
fine.
of us.
You're fine. It's not like many people know Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah.
Slash. I almost just skipped you and moved on to the next one. Sorry, but
Would have been upset.
Slash. What do you think of Shin Megami Tensei 5 and from what we've seen?
No, it's a very well, what are my words doing right now? Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool for the people who who probably enjoy it. Obviously, not my thing. But yeah, shout out to all of you Shin Megami Tensei players. You know, I'm here for you. I'm here for it.
Slash. I think you might have known this, but SquidWario, I don't think you knew this. Persona, you know, the franchise Joker's from, is actually a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool. Didn't know that.
And it's not like
I
Shin
knew
Megami
that.
Tensei is a spin-off of Persona. No, Persona's the spin-off. So, and Persona is getting more popular than Shin Megami Tensei. So that speaks volumes to Persona, I guess. The next game I don't really care too much about is Danganronpa, like a collection of 4 games, I think it was. It's called Danganronpa. What was it called again? Wait, Danganronpa Decadence. And it's a collection of the either 3 or 4 Danganronpa games. Pretty cool. They seem like murder mystery games. I think that's what they are. I don't know much about Danganronpa. But yeah. SquidWario, anything to say about Danganronpa Decadence?
Not really. Like, I mean, of course, it seems like it's going to be a good game, but really, I don't have much to say about this one.
Okay. Slash, anything to say about Danganronpa Decadence?
I think it looks very epic and cool, like me.
All right. So nothing. All right. Anyways, the next game on this presentation was. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to mention the 4 Danganronpa games. It is 4, by the way, that are in this collection will also be released separately on the eShop. So, in case you don't want all of them, you can get one of them.
Want all of them.
So that's cool, I guess, if you were one of those people who just don't want to get all of them. This next game doesn't seem like a big game. I didn't even really pop off hard to this, but this is a big deal just because, and part of that is because I didn't really know about it. Fatal Frame, which is a really good survival horror franchise. Fatal Frame Mirror or Maiden of Black Water, I believe it's called, is getting ported to the Switch. Now, here's the thing. Fatal Frame Maiden of Black Water was a game on the Wii U, so this is another Wii U to Switch port, but it was like a digital-only release and was marketed horribly. Nobody played it, including me. I didn't play it. Actually, I think I might have downloaded it once since I saw it was free, and I was like, "Oh, a free game, must download it." But I don't think I ever played it. So and this is a big. Hopefully, they release it physically, because that's what hurt the game on the Wii U. They released it. It was like a digital only game. So this game, it deserves a physical release. Just because. Like, I think it can do well, or at least better, if they give it a physical release and market it better. So yeah, SquidWario, what do you have to say about Fatal Frame Maiden of Black Water coming to Switch?
I mean, of course, I really haven't heard this game since it was only like digital for the Wii U. But like, if this game is gonna actually like not be digital, like maybe this game will be recognized by more gamers this time.
Gamers.
All right. And Slash, what did you think of Fatal Frame Maiden of Black Water coming to
Happy
Switch?
to see that they're going for it, you know?
Yeah. Now
Wait, that's literally just never mind.
did you have anything else to say?
No, it's fine.
Alright. So this next segment was about a lot of DLC. They called this games and DLC coming soon. So one of the things was the Doom Eternal the Ancient Gods Part 1 DLC is coming to Switch. I think this was already on the other platforms. I think it's just coming to Switch now. I'm not sure. But yeah, pretty cool. I'm not going to ask you about that because I don't think there's really much to say on that. Yeah, was that the only like DLC they showed for like anything? Oh no. This next thing that they showed was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. I think this was already announced to be coming to the Switch, but I didn't know about it. Some of the facial animations look a bit weird, like in the character customizer, but pretty cool that this game's coming to Switch. Anything to say, anyone?
Yeah, this game is actually looking cool. Like, I think it's cool, like how they're gonna have like this new game come. And really like this game, just the way it looks and like how it's designed and everything. Like, I just think it seems like a cool game people are probably gonna be into. So hopefully, like, there'll be success with this one.
Alright, Slash, is there anything you have to say about Tony Hawk on Switch?
Tony Hawk, it's a pretty epic game. I played it on, the console that it's probably the best on. But I'm hoping to see some of that Tony Hawk fire. You know what I'm saying? Some of that good old number 2 rated on Metacritic Tony Hawk kind of game.
That's true. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 is the number 2 best game of all time, according to Metacritic. Did you know that?
I only know because...
Well, I wouldn't be surprised just by like how it's all set, like how the game's like appears and like the way it's like. So I'm not really.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 is apparently the second best game of all time, like just ever.
Yeah, I mean it's skateboarding. Like skateboarding is cool to many people, so that doesn't surprise me.
All right.
Yes, but this never mind.
This next game that they showed was Strange Brigade. It's a game that I think came out on everything else before, and it's like some online co-op game. I heard it wasn't that good. But yeah, it's cool that it's coming to Switch. Anything you guys have to say about it?
I guess it's cool, like how they got that to Switch. Like hopefully there'll be success in that game. Like best of luck with that, I'd say.
Okay. Slash, anything you have to say?
Yeah, it's cool that it's coming to the Switch. I'm gonna be honest. Not obviously I'm not the biggest fan, but looks cool.
All right. All right. I was hoping you'd say a little more, just because I'm
Oh,
having. No,
okay.
no, no, no. It's just because like I'm having issues and I lost my spot on the thing, but I got it back, so it's okay. You don't have to stretch that out. Then we get a little look at we get another look at Mario and Rabbids. Forgot what it was called. Sparks of Hope. We saw this at Ubisoft. Didn't really need to see it here. SquidWario. I actually never got to hear what you thought of Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, because you weren't here for the Ubisoft discussion. So what did you think of that? Just
I'd say it's
general.
actually cool. Like I think it's nice how like they're adding like Rosalina and Luma related characters into the game. I mean, I don't know if Rosalina herself is actually going to be in the game or if it's just the rabbit, but like I think like the trailer looked amazing. I know like like the designs are pretty much the same as the prequel. But overall, like I think like this new adventure that Mario is going to have with the rabbits seems exciting and pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to it.
Slash. Anything you have to say about what they showed for Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope?
Yeah, I liked what they showed the other day, and I have the first one of I have the I guess the predecessor. So yeah, hopefully we get to see um this game be a pretty big success. Hopefully they don't mess it up, because like this was like we already talked about this, but this was one of those combinations that should not have worked in
It
the way that it
does.
did, and it does. So hopefully that surprise that it works continues to be at play, I guess, in play.
Yeah. All right. Next game they showed was kind of a surprise. Uh, they're sort of remaking the Advanced Wars games. Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. And basically, Advanced Wars were like these like tactical RPG games on the Game Boy Advance, hence the name Advanced Wars. Like obviously, the advanced that name probably has another meaning, but come on, let's be real. It's called that because it's on the Game Boy Advanced. And it's exciting. It looks pretty good. And they showed it during Nintendo during the Treehouse Live. We don't have to talk about that, but I actually watched through this Treehouse Live, and actually I think because of that, Advance Wars looks pretty cool. And I also saw Metroid Dread and Mario Party on there. They look really. They actually look a lot of fun. I didn't see WarioWare played on the Nintendo Treehouse, although it was there. I just missed it. But yeah, Advance Wars is quite exciting. And the only thing is, I think it's $60. I don't think this is a $60 game. Nintendo likes to overprice their games, but Wario, anything to say about Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp? SquidWario?
Witty. He's clearly dead.
Oh, I'm frozen?
No, you're not. It's him.
Okay. You there?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, good. So what are your thoughts on shit, what was I? Oh yeah, what are your thoughts on
Advanced
Advance
Wars.
Wars?
So I think it's cool how like an older franchise is getting remade. You know, like maybe this game will like come back to older gamers, and maybe like it'll become a huge success.
Mm-hmm.
That's the plan.
Yeah, man. Anyways, yeah, Slash, what'd you think of Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp.
Reboot camp.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
It's my name. Don't wear it out.
What'd you
Yeah,
think?
I thought it was pretty cool. I'm not. It's probably not my style of game, but for the people who grew up with it and for the people who appreciate it, I'm sure they're excited to see Advance Wars back on the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find it strange how they can, remake Advanced Wars, but they can't remake, Golden Sun, or they can't make a new Golden Sun game. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
anyways, I don't know what that
You're
was.
not alone.
Next up was a bit strange, to be honest. It's a bunch of Zeldas,
You're a bitch.
But the thing is, he came up and said, we got one more announcement, and we see Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity DLC. And I was like, this can't be the last announcement.
It
wasn't. It wasn't. But we'll get into the other announcements. Basically, the rest of the event was basically a Zelda show, which is cool. Yeah, we got to see the Age of Calamity DLC. Pretty cool stuff. I didn't play Age of Calamity, but I hear it's a great game, and I hear the story is fantastic. So the story expansion is probably well appreciated, but not much to say here. I remember in the Nintendo Direct back in like February of this year, they just showed like a little graphic of all the DLC coming for like 2 seconds. So like, yeah, moving on, goodbye. Which I thought was weird, but they gave it a little more time here, which was cool. SquidWario, what'd you think of the Age of Calamity DLC, if anything at all?
I think it was cool how like they're adding more stuff to that game. Like maybe like it'll add more to the game where like more gamers are gonna like enjoy having like additional stuff to play.
Gamers.
All right, Slash, anything you have to say about the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity DLC?
Pretty cool. I've heard some good things about Hyrule Warriors. I've from my brother actually. He played the game a lot with his friend, and he said it was Pog Champ. If he did say so himself.
All right.
So
That's not a knock on your brother. All right. That's a credit to him.
in fact, he would never say Pog Champ, but
Really? I was
yeah.
kind of being serious about that being a good thing, but okay. Continue.
Yeah. I think it's Oh wait, my train of thought has just gotten derailed. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool that they're ruling Hyrule again with this game, and yeah, I have heard a lot of good things about Hyrule Warriors, so hopefully it continues.
Mm-hmm. The next game they showed was was Skyward Sword HD. It hasn't had the best, it doesn't have the best. What's the word?
Reception so far.
I guess you could say reception surrounding its release, because it's been bathed in a lot of controversy. The game is $60, and a lot of people don't think it should be $60. And then there's the Amiibo, which is $25 for some reason when it should be $15, and then it locks the ability to fast travel behind the Amiibo, which is weird. But the game, it looks cool. I don't know if I'll play it, just because. Do I need to really? But especially if it's 60. But I mean, it looks cool. There wasn't really much they could have shown here, and they didn't show much. They were just like, "Hey, remember this is coming out in a month. Look at this little stuff that we have here." Next game, SquidWario. What'd you think of what they showed for Skyward Sword HD, if anything?
I think it's cool how like they're bringing this to Switch. I mean, so this game originated on the Wii, I believe.
Yeah, it did.
So, of course, this is basically like a remake to a Wii game. But overall, like I think this will probably be like a decent success, I'd say.
All right. Slash, what do you think of Hyrule Warriors? What? No, we skipped that. Oh no, we didn't skip it. But we moved past that. What do you think of
Yeah, I
Skyward
got
Sword
you.
HD?
Obviously, I agree probably with most of the community in this case. I don't think the game there's a lot of things that can be said about the game, but I honestly it does look good. You know, it's basically one of the best Zelda games. Without probably the motion controls, it would probably be one of the like top tier Zelda games. You know, and it already is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, some people would say it is. Some people would say the complete opposite. Some people would be like, "Yeah, this game's
Yeah,
not
so
very good."
something. It's a very divisive game. A lot of people think it's like one of the best Zelda games. A lot of people think it's one of the worst. It's one of those games.
It's
It's a
one of
game you either
those.
love or hate. There's no in between really. Which is exactly
I
why I
feel
kind
like
of struck down the middle.
I feel like it's probably some people just got better Wiimotes as children, and that's
I
probably what
think
decided it.
time. I think it's more time. I think time has been either better or worse.
Yeah, probably about right.
Yeah. Anything else you had to say?
Um, I think it looks cool. $60. I don't know, considering the game already exists, and some people have it and don't want to pay another $60. And there's a lot of controversy around it, but I will say that the game looks pretty nice, which
Yep.
is mainly what I'm here to talk about, I guess. So
Um. And then the next
here
thing
we
they showed
go.
was before we get to the big one that we already kind of talked about earlier as Ramkit was leaving.
I mean, Ramkit did, but we didn't.
Uh, a Legend of Zelda Game and Watch system. I I don't know why I didn't see this coming. I probably should have, just because they did this with Mario. But they're doing more with this one than they did with the Mario one. With Mario, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe all they put was just the first Super Mario Bros. On there. This one they're putting Zelda, Zelda 2, Link's Awakening, and a new Game and Watch Zelda game. And that's really cool. He did say, AG Aonuma, he did say, we're not working on any new Zelda games. That means like unannounced Zelda games. That doesn't rule out Breath of the Wild 2. So that was a little disappointing, especially since this is Zelda's 35th anniversary, and Nintendo, I think, treats Zelda's anniversaries usually better than Mario's. But yeah. Well, SquidWario, what did you think of the Game and Watch Zelda thing?
I knew it was definitely going to come because, like, that's what they did for, like, the Mario 35th anniversary. They brought back the Game & Watch, and they did, like, a few of, like, the old Mario games, and, like, they had, like, all this other stuff on there, too. So, pretty much, I kind of had a feeling they'd do something similar, like, in honor for Legend of
I
Zelda
bet.
35.
Yeah.
So, I think it's cool, like, how that Nintendo is once again bringing back one of like their oldest consoles, Game and Watch, as well as bringing back old titles of Zelda.
All right. Slash, what did you think of the Zelda Game and Watch system?
I think it. I think it looks pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Like you guys said, they did it for Mario. Only fair they do it for Zelda. I mean, yeah, I guess Zelda. Uh, yeah. Why did I say I guess? Yeah. Only fair that they do it for Zelda, and I think it's gonna be pretty cool, pretty PogChamp, if I do say so myself. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this game, and hopefully it is good, like I know it will be.
All right.
Yeah.
And that brings us to our final announcement.
Fortnite 2.
Yeah, you wish.
Good luck with
What do you mean? I wish. Shut the fuck up.
And
that.
our final announcement was Breath of the Wild 2. We got a little trailer, and this is big. We haven't gotten. By the way, I'm holding a towel in case you viewers just don't ask. All right.
Don't worry, I wasn't going.
I said viewers. You guys know why I'm holding a towel. But shit. What was I saying? Right, Breath of the Wild 2, it got a new trailer, and it looked fucking sick. Holy shit. I was expecting
Looks
this to
like
be...
it has the flu.
Yeah, I was expecting this to be like a more dark version of Breath of the Wild, kind of like how there's Ocarina of Time, and then on the Nintendo 64 they did Majora's Mask, which was a more dark version
There we
of
go.
Ocarina of Time. But this doesn't seem to be a dark version of Breath of the Wild. It seems to be set in the sky. A lot of stuff is in the sky. It looks like Skyward Sword, as Ramkit said earlier, and it looks really good. I think Link's design is pretty cool. You know, he doesn't have the ponytail, so his hair is just down to his shoulders, which I think is a pretty cool look for him. Yeah, the interesting thing though is that they said they're hoping for 2022. They're hoping for 2022. So that means that they're unsure. So we're probably not going to get it till late 2022, if not 2023. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it in 2023. So, yeah, I thought it looked sick. SquidWario, what'd you think of Breath of the Wild 2?
Yeah, I agree. It looked great. Again, like the designs are pretty much like the graphic designs are similar to the original since it's been only like a few years, but you know, and like assuming it does get released next year in 2022, it's going to mark 5 years of the original as well. But yeah, I think Breath of the Wild 2 will probably be like just as like epic as the original Breath of the Wild, and I have no doubt that this game will have success.
It's Zelda. It's got to sell well.
Absolutely, exactly, dude.
Lots
Slash,
and spirit trains.
what did you think of Breath of the Wild 2?
Epic, you know. I thought it was very cool. And obviously it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. The first trailer at least, made it seem like it would be more of a, I don't know, of a dark game, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
It clearly isn't going to be that based on what I can derive from this new trailer. But it doesn't mean it will be bad by any means. I mean, it looks incredible, and I'm excited to see it. You know, see it in action.
All right, and that does it for Nintendo. So, before we go over what we thought, in general of what Nintendo's presentation, and I also want to just briefly sum up E3, what we thought of E3 as a whole. I noticed one game was missing. It wasn't Metroid Prime 4. It was Bayonetta 3. Little worried. Getting worried about Bayonetta 3. They announced that game at the Game Awards 2017. That was the year the Switch was announced. No, the Switch came out. Alright? Like, I never thought that we'd be waiting this long. I never thought we'd be waiting 4 years later for Bayonetta 3, and we don't even see it at E3. I'm a little worried. I hope the game is coming along nicely. I hope this is a sign of, like, you know, the game being super fucking good, like out of this fucking world. But SquidWario, well, what do you think the status is on Metroid? What the fuck? What do you think the status is on Bayonetta 3? And since it wasn't shown.
Yeah, I didn't think of that till now, actually. But yeah, I'm hoping like no one forgot about that. You know, like I hope they definitely did not give up on this title, because like I know how much of a big disappointment it's going to be to a lot of people. So hopefully, like they are working on it, and maybe like next time they'll announce it or something. Hopefully.
Yeah. Slash. How about you?
Yeah. I don't know. It's been way too long, probably. Hopefully, it means that the game is being worked on with like care and stuff, and not just that there's problems with it.
Mm-hmm. Because, like, at least with Metroid Prime 4, like, at least with that, we've gotten status updates by Nintendo. Bayonetta, I don't think we've heard about. Like, we've heard from Hideki Kamiya, but in interviews, but I don't think we've heard anything from Nintendo or anything like that since the game was announced, which is worrying. Anyways, that was Nintendo's press conference at E3, and I'll say Nintendo had the best one. They, like, when it came to quality, Nintendo had the best one. Quantity, Microsoft probably had the best one. But in general, I think I'm maybe it's just my Nintendo fanboy, but
Nintendo boy.
yeah, they call them Nintendrones, but I'm not a Nintendrone. Nintendrones defend Nintendo at every at every opportunity. I don't do that. You remember the end of last year? Whew. Anyways, not to get off track though. I think they had the best press conference. A lot of great games were announced. They had Kazuya and Smash. They had Metroid Dread, Breath of the Wild 2. They had Mario Party Superstars, which a little iffy, but I saw the Treehouse showcase, and that it actually looks like fun. WarioWare, Advance Wars. They got a lot of cool stuff to show. That they did show. You know, Shin Megami Tensei 5, I don't care too much, but like that's a big thing. That's big. So I give Nintendo's press conference a 9 out of 10 cuz it was good. It was really good. And it struck for quality, and it got it. SquidWario, what did you think of Nintendo's press conference overall? And if you want to give it a score, go ahead. Or do I sound like fucking... Sorry, go.
Well, let's see. So, yes, I'd say Nintendo's event this year for E3 was awesome. Because it was like, it was just like a big variety of stuff. They announced like entirely new things. They're bringing back older things. It just felt good to watch these events again. So I would say I would rate this one. I want to say, yeah, I would probably give it 9 stars out of 10 as well.
And Slash, what did you think of Nintendo's E3 overall?
I would also say 9 out of 10. So, yeah, I guess we're all exactly the same. But I thought there was a lot of good presentations. They had games that a lot of people were interested in. They brought the hype with their presentations. All of them were pretty solid. Pretty much anything that I guess fans of their company were like wondering about was answered, minus Bayonetta. And overall, just a very solid presentation.
All right.
Can't do much better.
And that was E3. As a whole,
What about Bandai Namco DPX?
we mentioned them briefly earlier.
I know,
They had one game. This is even worth talking about. But as a whole, that was sort of a running theme with all of E3 this year. You know, there was we had Ubisoft, Gearbox, Devolver Digital had one. We didn't talk about that, but that one was actually pretty good, just because it was entertaining. They were basically making fun of Ubisoft the whole time. So
Yay!
Yeah, and so that was one of the few good ones. We had Xbox, which was good, Square, which is not good, Capcom, which is not good, Nintendo's, which was good, Bandai Namco, which was not good. Not to mention, there's also Take-Two Interactive, which they had nothing. It was just one big round table being like, we like games! And
They do, don't
and
they?
there was WB, which they focused just on. It was just a Back for Blood showcase.
About them games.
And that game looks good. I'm excited for that game. So yeah, but E3, these companies, like, you know why Sony doesn't do E3 anymore? Because they don't need to. Maybe it's just because they don't have much to announce for E3 that they decide, you know, just not to show up. You know, Capcom didn't need to do that. I get maybe Ubisoft they had to show Rainbow Six Extraction. They had to show Avatar. They had to show Mario and Rabbids, although that could have been announced Nintendo's. You know, but like a company like Capcom, a company like Ubisoft, not Ubisoft, a company like Gearbox, they didn't need to have one. Namco, they didn't need to have one. They could have shown that one game maybe in like Microsoft's. Square, you know, they had Stranger in Paradise, they had Guardians of the Galaxy, but nothing else really. But Nintendo and Microsoft, and I guess you can say Devolver Digital as well, saved it. They made E3 good. So that's my thoughts on E3. I'll have a video on my channel soon. I think I'm gonna make a tier list, just putting together all the press conferences. SquidWario, what were your all-in-all final thoughts on E3 this year?
So, I'd say for E3 this year, I would say, like, this was definitely, like, a good year for E3. And, like, you know, it just sucks how, like, last year we really didn't get, like, a good E3 due to COVID, but,
We didn't get any.
but like,
anything, yeah.
yeah, you know, like, exactly, but, like, I'm glad that this year they were able to pull everything off again, you know? Like, I think everything was pulled off pretty well for the most part. I mean, not all the events were as exciting, but I'd say overall, this year's E3 was definitely worth it.
Slash, what'd you think of E3 as a whole this year?
Pretty much same here. I think it's there were a lot of questions, I think, going this year into E3, like, oh, is it even, like, still worth it for companies to do E3? Is it even is E3 going to be good, basically? And I think in some parts that question was answered like no, because and in other parts it was answered yes. Like we had 2 or 3 very good presentations, and then everything else was a bit meh. So overall, I would say it's good that we have it, but it wasn't the best that it's ever been.
So yeah, that'll do it. This is by far the longest episode of Chillin With The Miikcast by a landslide. And I think it's the longest video that I think any of us have ever put out anywhere. So yeah, where can people find you, SquidWario?
So, you can find me on my YouTube channel.
Alright. Slash, where can people find you?
Comedy Shorts Gaming. That's where you guys can.
Of course, you can find me, DPX Solo on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter.
That's true.
Join the Miikcast Discord server down below. And down below is also the socials for a bunch of other members. Ramkit, who was on here earlier, is down below. Antsam, who was on here earlier, is down below. And other people who weren't on here, like Slash. No, Slash, you were in all of them.
What are you talking about?
I don't know why I said Slash. But Gus, Pat, Luigi, Zach, Doug are all here down below. So yeah, anyways, this is gonna take forever to render, but see ya, bye.
You guys in like 14 days.